I wish you would have done that 2 seconds earlier, because then that would have actually been live. Anyway, there we go. Welcome to another installment of the Final Scoop podcast. My name is Robert Schinetsky, the supplement engineer. Thank you all for tuning in on the live stream, as you always do on these Saturday chats. Joining me are my international band of brothers and industry experts, and Shane Smith, Stack.com, and Lukasz Rytkowski, Prometeus Intelligence Sports Technology. We are down 2 men today. Robbie has got to moderate an NPC show, and TJ is on the road traveling because he actually has a real job outside of the supplement industry, unlike the three of us that are on this call. So he's got to make those millions so he can pay for all of our retirements too once we're finished working our days in the supplement industry. So thank you all for tuning in on the live stream. If you got any comments, questions, queries, quips, smart aleck remarks, or cocktail concoctions you may be imbibing on this day, it might be 5 o'clock somewhere for some people watching this. Feel free to post them up in the comments section. Shane and I have cultivated questions from the listeners already in lieu of today's episode, but if you guys got anything else that you want us to answer on the fly, feel free to post them up. And if you like what we're doing here, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video with family, friends, and loved ones. And if you like what we're doing on the up and you listen to us on a podcast platform, give us a 5-star review. That helps us climb up on the almighty algorithm that dictates anything and everything to which we are exposed these days. So, my friends, Lukasz, you right before we hit the go button, you screamed, you gave us a big fuck yeah. So what has got you fired up today?
You know what? Thanks for letting me talk, because probably Shane's gonna do the rest of the talking for this episode. So yeah, I just wanna do a few pointers. The first one was that last weekend on the Eastern Sunday, I had a privilege and the pleasure to talk with Sean from Subtalk Radio. So I was his guest. And we talked, about the industry and so on, and it was a really good discussion. I really appreciate this guy and what he's doing for the industry. So big shout out to him for just keeping me, in his show, and it was cool, especially because I was his loyal followers since probably day one, just like with Shane. So yeah, that was a cool option. And second thing is that this week I've got this bad boy.
There you go.
Yes, and it's also signed especially for my mom. So Robert and Carolina, from Apollon, for sending a care package. It's a huge pain in the ass, especially now, they had to send the package to their UK distributor, and he passed it directly to me, which took a month or so. But Robert confirmed that the entire double impact got sold out, which is fantastic.
Fucking awesome.
It's awesome to hear that, how people reacted to this cause, and not only for my mother, but for the entire cause, the breast cancer awareness and so on. So that's really awesome that the industry is so strong and the people are getting together just to support something bigger, than just training hard and making gains.
Absolutely. How is, if you don't have to go into detail if you don't want to, but is Mama doing all right in her ongoing battle?
Mom is doing very well. Her blood results are getting better and better every week because she's getting tests on a weekly basis. And now we've got only 2 more chemotherapies, and we are done. And then, it all comes down to genetic testing, and based on that, the doctor will decide which way we are going. So keep your fingers crossed. But yeah, she's in a good spirit. She stays positive. She is a strong beast. So yeah, man, I'm staying positive as well. So yeah, man.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Outstanding. That's awesome news. Hey, Brooke, thanks for tuning in as always. You got any questions, feel free to fire away. And Paul, I got myself 2 tubs of Double Impact. Yes, Double Impact is awesome.
Thanks,
I haven't used it in a week and a half or so, but I like it. It's surprisingly, this is going to sound weird, or maybe I'm just tolerant to it. I don't know. It's for the profile, it hits hard, but then it smooths out super, super quick.
You know what? The thing with Double Impact is that it really surprised me because to be honest, I was probably one of the first people that tried, complementing the hooligan and the assassin.
Yep.
And when I took a scoop of double impact, there was a bit different feeling, but in a positive way, And
Yeah.
I was expecting, the same result when I was, mixing up the hooligan and assassin.
Hmm.
But with double impact was a bit different thing, So
Yeah.
it hits in a different way, but in a good way. So yeah, it's a really good product. After just one serving, I'm really happy, and probably I'm gonna use like maybe half of the top, and the second half I'm gonna probably frame and put it on my bed or somewhere else,
There you go. Sending more prayers for your mom, Lucas. Keep the faith strong. Yes, absolutely.
Thanks.
All
Thanks
good
a lot.
thoughts, prayers, and well wishes for Mama.
Yeah.
Review Bros checking in. Elbow.
Oh.
Is this it? Elbow. Like, is this something I'm missing? Is there like an inside joke to this that I'm missing? Or am I like that square or boring that I'm missing something, or is this?
Maybe I don't know. But they did send me a question, so I don't know if that's that one.
Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. You got a question? Feel free to go ahead. Yeah, Shane, do you want to lead off with one of the opening queries?
Well, since they commented, their question was, "What did you think of the Naughty Boy Star Wars?"
So I got an email from Clint, the owner of Naughty Boy, said, "Hey, I don't know if you've been tuning in to see whatever happened, but send us your address and we'll shoot you out a tub if you and Sandy want to try it." I said, "Sure." I said, "I honestly have no clue. Like, I know when they did the Ghostbusters logo, and I thought that was like." A child of the 80s, I love the original two Ghostbuster movies. We're not going to acknowledge that bullshit that came out 4 or 5 years ago, whatever the hell that was. But the original two Ghostbusters movies were freaking awesome. I had a little proton pack when I was a kid. My brother and I would play Ghostbusters. We had the little trap and everything. I remember drinking the High C Ecto Cooler flavor. So just like nostalgia to that, when I saw that label, there's going to be people that are going to say, well, they were ripping off our label, or this is a shot across the bow at these other brands on. I looked at it more as like the 80s nostalgia kind of thing. That's what I looked at it as. And just, it had that electric green thing from the Ecto Cooler days and stuff like that. So I thought it was cool. I have not seen the Star Wars. I know Lucas put a little bit on there, but I don't understand. So can somebody like bring me up to speed on everything, on what it is?
I mean, I feel like I'm a bit. So I think I never actually watched or read too much of anything. I just remember Lucas telling me that, like, people were saying it's very like the Star Wars. It was obviously Star Wars themed and Star Wars inspires, hence the name Star Wars. In fact, the funny thing is that when I go to Malaysia, when I was in Malaysia, they very famous have like counterfeit Lego, and they always do the Star Wars Lego is the popular one, but they don't like you go to these markets and it's like filled and flooded with counterfeit Lego, and like the Lego will be called like something really weird. They'll just replace a letter or like a few letters, or Lima. It's called Lima, and it'll be like yeah, there it is.
There we go.
Yeah, and so one of those Legos is actually called Star Wars. Like that was, and even though it doesn't get around the issues, like they just make these subtle changes. But I feel like for me, these kinds of things, I think the best word is like, I don't know, I don't really pay attention to half of them.
Yeah.
Because like I've seen so many things that I thought were similar to other things, brands, names, and no one cared, like zero cared. And then I've put some up and haven't noticed a single thing, and I'll get like he'll be like, oh, so and so put this out and we've filed this. Can you please remove this?
Yeah.
And these will be things that people, I can guarantee you, would never even notice, would never even pay attention to. And these are ones that people actually got sued after. and were not sued, but like got into trouble with. And I still could look at them and be like, I don't see it. So
Yeah.
when it comes to these kinds of things where people say it's similar to this and similar to that, I'm like, look, I'm just gonna put it up, man. If the brand puts it out, I'm gonna put it up. If it gets similar or if it gets trouble, then someone will let me know, and they'll end up being taken down.
Yeah.
But like, I don't want to be the guy in the middle saying, like, I see a similarity, and then someone's like, no, there's fucking nothing wrong with this.
Yeah.
And then like I'm like, no, I'm not putting it up because it's too similar to this that I saw when I was blah blah blah. But then me not being completely oblivious to something that's very obvious to other people, and I wouldn't know it because I don't know, I wasn't brought up around that, or I never saw that.
Hmm.
So I'm like, the fairest way for me to do it is just throw it out there, see what happens. I mean,
Yeah.
I just called this Star Wars themed. I thought it was for May the 4th. I assumed it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I like the design of it. I mean, I'm a Star Wars nerd at heart. Like the original trilogy is awesome. I'm not gonna acknowledge the new bullshit that Disney put out. But yeah, the original ones and even the prequels get a pass compared to like the drill that came out in recent years.
I think that the people that made the accusations and are super bulvers, about this entire situation, is that the Naughty Boy used the background, which are all the spaceships and so on,
Yeah.
But if you take a look at the label and the design of the label, you can see there is a Sid character, which is the Naughty Boy, the main character, which wears the Darth Vader helmet. So that's like I would say it's like a costume, which is like a bit funny, to me.
Yeah.
And it's to me it's like a funny spin, and just like it shouldn't be treated as some type of like stealing licensing or something like this, And
I mean, I can see like if it is like if it gets in trouble, I'm not gonna be surprised.
Yeah, of
And
course.
if it doesn't get in trouble, I'm not gonna be surprised either. But either way, I'm not really gonna care until someone gets in trouble.
Exactly.
I'm not Naughty Boy, and I'm not Star Wars. I'm like, look, I mean, if it's bad, like
You're
they'll
just
change it. So,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, but at the same, you are just reporting facts. So basically, if someone is sending you a product release or something, then you are just like putting it on site or on site.
well, like I said, I have like a kind of visor on where I just don't like. I've put things up before, and people are like, "Oh my god, this is like this candy," and I look at them like, "Oh shit, you're right. I didn't fucking know." Like I just don't see it.
Yeah.
This one, I was like, "Yeah, Star Wars themed." I never really like. I'm not looking like, "Oh yeah, the logo is similar to whatever." I'm like, I just don't see it. I mean, like I said, the thing is if you start putting that over your eyes, and everything I start sharing has that kind of, well, I'm not going to put this up because it's similar to this movie.
Yeah.
But then there'll be movies that I haven't seen, so I'm ending up, censoring things that people have seen, that might have seen it, haven't seen it. I don't want to be, like I said, I don't want to be caught in the middle. So
Yeah. I wonder if there would have been as much, huff puff about it if they didn't have put this background in there. If they had just shown the tub on like a black or like a space background instead of including the Star Destroyers, the TIE Fighters, the X-Wings.
yeah, I think so. Well,
Death
because
Star.
the picture they sent me, because this one for me was too small for Instagram, so I didn't put this one on Instagram. They gave me like a yellow one. It has Sid holding the tub,
Yeah.
which is their like character. It has, and you can't really see it on the tub. So this one we put on the site because it was smaller, but then the Instagram we put up was the Sid holding the tub, and you can't really see much in that one. But I mean, this one, yeah, the background, it's it's definitely.
I mean, do you think, or maybe let's attack it from like the brand marketing perspective. Maybe this was all just a ploy, and like they never meant to do this, but they're just releasing this image to kind of get people talking about the brand, but they're not actually going to release something like this.
It kind of fits with the name, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, they did the Ghostbusters one,
right?
and like they
And
put it up,
they're trying to
deleted
start
it,
shit like it's instead of
change it.
Star Wars, they're
I
gonna just like
thought,
start shit.
I
You know?
thought that name, Star Wars, and then the fact that people were saying that, oh, so and so says this and this, and then I'm like, isn't that just so ironic?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like, well, there's a lot of egos in the industry, and like some people get set off by certain things, and other things get set off by people. Like, there's certain things that set me off about the industry. Other people get set off by different things. So, like, there's probably an element. Like, I mean, brand owners are smart. They know what can needle at other people.
yeah,
Like,
man.
go
Plus,
go to Naughty
yeah,
Boy's Instagram, and
yeah,
I saw this picture yesterday.
Okay.
yeah. If
Let's see.
It's the second one down. Oh yeah, there you go. There you go. They've put up the new one. Oh, is that the new one?
Let me.
Yeah, there you go.
On
They've put up the new one, but you can't really see it. But the picture below it as well.
which one?
So that one on their Instagram, the top three,
Yeah.
that's the new image, I believe.
You're talking about.
The one with the
Uh,
big, whatever it is, chipmunk monkey. I'm not entirely sure what it
yeah.
is.
So I was trying to figure out what in the world with this.
Yeah, that's the new one.
What the hell? Luigi lemon shotgun sherbet.
yeah,
Across the crime
so
scene.
basically, the entire Naughty Boy concept is that they're going with the mafia team. They're I don't know if you were following them, Robert, but
No,
they
not
did right.
usually.
They did this big release with the mafia team on Amino Mafia, and right now they're also releasing a protein. They're also gonna be other
Yeah,
products.
scroll down. Yeah, read
Yeah,
this one. This one I
yeah,
thought this was a nod. No, the one with the car. I think that was the nod at the.
Yeah,
You
let's
can
see.
only really read it when when all three are there.
Don't worry, Luigi has already taken care of it. You was right. Once a rat, always a rat. Boss, I told you. That's how you expose a rat. Should I make the call, boss? That's.
See, I thought it was such
And
a
then it's
weird.
got the Amino family. Yeah, there you go.
yeah. So that's the whole spin, and that's why they went that route. And I think that
There we
that's
go.
what ruffled many people's feathers.
Yeah. Apricot.
Yeah, you said
Yeah,
the amino family. It's four supplements. You got a
Capo regime. Yeah.
BCAA, an EAA, intra workout, and then a carb formula. And the more advanced the supplements get, like it's treated as the higher up the amino family you go.
yeah.
Hmm.
So
The
like the
car,
intra workout, the flavor is called it's like the mafia boss kind of thing.
yeah,
And then the BCAAs are like the soldiers, the
Oh,
whatever
that's
they
cool.
are.
yeah.
Velocitol, Synactive,
I
estrogen,
mean,
and an
it's
EAA
solid.
complex. Yeah.
It's packed. It's solid.
Interesting. Very interesting.
But yeah, I remember they told me they changed it. That's why he's like, oh, if you can just drop the image, we're gonna change it. So I
There you
was
go.
like, sweet.
Carlito's Way. That was a good Pacino movie. Family's coming. Berto Bubblegum. Clever. Very clever.
Yeah, I thought it was it kind of fit with the name.
Yeah,
Got a bit of attention.
it definitely got a
I
lot of
don't,
press.
I don't think Disney's gonna go sue Naughty Boy. They might get him a cease and desist letter. They're not gonna. I don't think
Hell
they're gonna
no.
file a lawsuit, man. There's no way.
I
Yeah,
didn't think I mean, I don't know the ins and outs. Maybe they do, but I would have thought you would have had you would have had to like sell something. Because I know with brands in the past that had like infringements on like looks too much like this candy. They ended up having to pay so and so per sale or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
But Naughty Boy didn't even produce this. I mean, all they did was produce a graphic, so they might get a cease and desist letter, but they haven't actually really incurred any kind of. They haven't made the product, so
bro, you know how many like porn stores are selling the Darth Vader costumes and so on? Dude, don't get
Okay.
me started on this
You could
one.
have. You could have
They
used
could
so
like
many.
they could sue the entire porn industry, and
You could have
they
used
could
so
like ban
many arguments, so many comparisons. Why did you go straight to the
You
porn
went
industry?
straight to the bottom.
because
I didn't even. I didn't even.
I passed through today one, and there was like a huge Darth Vader, mask on it. So I was like,
What?
"What's going on?"
You passed through what?
Yeah,
Wait.
in my city, there's like
It's right
there's
next to the grocery store. You just
a
walk right
shop.
through one and you're in the other
What do
one.
you mean you pass through? Stores usually only have a front
I'm
door. You don't
passing
just go in
through.
and out.
I'm
Just
passing
what?
through.
Can I just get a shortcut through your video store because it's faster? Oh
I
yeah.
can, when I will be walking to the street next time, I can film you, so you can see what's going on.
You mean
Please
passing
do.
by or passing
Yeah,
through?
passing
Those
by. No,
oh, okay.
not going through.
Lost in
Well,
translation. There we go.
Those are two different things.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Remember, I'm Polish.
Yeah, I just apparently all the porn stars just shortcut through and there's Darth Vader costumes everywhere.
Yeah, no, but seriously. Oh yeah,
Yeah, Total
exactly.
War had a Star Wars theme flavor. They also did a War Games thing too. I mean, that's like almost like a direct rip off of like the War Games logo and other stuff they've done. I mean, I doubt they're getting any kind of lawsuits or anything.
Core also released a few T-shirts with Star Wars theme,
Yeah,
and there also was
Yeah, it's like I said
was no issue.
that's the thing. See, I would have thought that everyone who did the Stranger Things stuff,
yeah,
I would have thought because there were a few of those out there at the time. I would have
Yep.
thought, but that was what I was saying earlier. Like sometimes I can look at them and I'm like, oh, I think that must be that. Zero problems. And then sometimes I'll just put something out and I'll be like, oh, okay, that ended up having problems. I wouldn't have. And like I said, I've been hit up with major companies before. I won't name any major companies or corporations, but they've hit me up like, and it seems really serious and weird. But they're just like, "Oh, can you just take this down? We can't have this up," and
yeah.
it's just weird. Like I wouldn't have thought half of these ones that would have had issues, but they just it's just. But it's that's why I just sort of, like I said, I throw it out because the Stranger Thing. There's heaps of movie ones that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
think it
they've
might
done
have
a
been
Miami Vice themed one. I mean, there's been a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not overly familiar with the background on that. I know
Or like
there's
the bright neon pink and neon blue that you see. I mean, that's all Miami Vice.
Yeah,
Nutrex did like a GI
yeah,
Joe themed one.
yeah.
yeah. I said there's a lot of them that do it, but I'm just like I don't want to be the guy to be like, no, this is definitely not, and this is definitely a problem.
Yeah,
I'm
but
like,
at
look
the
at
end of the day, do you think that it hurts, the licensing thing and the industry at some point, or
Well, yeah,
what
I mean,
are your
that's what
thoughts?
Brooke raises a good point. It says it devalues the brands that take more legitimate routes to use copyrighted or licensed flavors or ideas. So there's been other brands that have gone like and officially licensed official flavoring technologies or to use that exact logo on their thing. So does it devalue those brands, do you think?
no. I mean, it's tricky though because if it devalues the brand, like I don't know, there's no Star Wars pre-workout out there anyway. But
No.
like obviously you have the Disney, sorry, not Disney, the DC supplements. My Protein did.
Hmm.
Like in that sense, she's right. It probably could, but I mean, you got a lot more problems than that because people licensing flavors, and there's a million companies out there doing cereal flavors that aren't authentic and
Correct.
Yeah,
have and call themselves like loose fruits or whatever. Like
Yeah,
like
Loopy
yeah,
Fruits.
yeah,
yeah, like there are a lot of brands out there like that actually make it extremely obvious the candy or the flavor they're trying to imitate.
Hmm.
Much more obvious than this.
hmm
Yeah.
And and same with the peanut butter ones. Like I've seen so many of those
Yeah.
like
Reese's.
Oreo like ones, the Reese's peanut
Yeah,
butter, and like they copy the colors and the text and the font,
yeah.
Yeah.
and like none of them have had problems. But I'm like, okay, and I guess she's right to some extent, but I can't imagine like. I mean, I feel like you would be a little bit funny if you looked at the product and were like, "This is called Star Wars," and then you saw Star Wars logo, Luke Skywalker, beautiful artwork, officially licensed, and you're like, both of these are pretty much the same. Like,
Yeah.
so like Ghost, they do it really well, and they do the Chips Ahoy, um,
Yeah, that's
Swedish
what.
fish.
Yeah,
Swedish
Ghost has
Fish.
done it.
But I don't think that Ghost lost anything when they did Swedish Fish. It made a lot of noise, but
Yeah.
well, not many, but there were a few companies who did Swedish Fish type
Before.
flavors before.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know Man Sports did one. I can't remember what they bloody called it.
Neurosurge had the old. You remember old Neurosurge, Shane? That had a Swedish fish type flavor to it
Yes.
too, I think.
Yeah, I think Man Sports one was named similar, and so
Man
it was
Sports
kind of
also did the Sour Patch Kids.
Hmm.
yeah. Salbatch. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Cellucor. That's the one that I find absolute because Man Sports did Sour Batch,
Yeah.
Sour
Also
Batch
before.
Kids,
Yeah.
and Cellucor did Sour Batch Bros.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, I mean, that's a sour. You just need to say Sour Batch, and you already know
Yeah.
which one what flavor they're trying to go for. But
Exactly.
Yeah.
that's Cellucor. So I mean, I can understand it has how it does devalue, but it's not that every industry out there. But I guess it's not for me to decide, and it's not for people to decide whether or not it like infringes. But I guess picking Naughty Boy to be the one to be like, oh, these guys. I mean, you could throw a stone and you would hit someone who's done a cereal flavor, a candy
Yeah, man.
flavor, and you could make the argument that, oh, you copied or you were inspired or you replicated so and so. And
Yeah.
I mean, she's right. It does devalue, but I guess that's the goal of the other side of the coin. They're trying to do it without spending that much. Like they're trying to get that relevance without spending that much money. And like I said, a lot of companies do it. I mean, the Star Wars theme is obviously different from flavors, but I mean, there's no Star Wars. There's Star Wars shakers out there, but
Hmm.
I haven't seen a Star Wars supplement
No,
like
they don't have a
From
supplement line.
sports nutrition side.
from my perspective, when it comes to like licensing thing, I have a massive respect for the brands such as Ghost that they are doing everything on a legit basis. So they are reaching out to the bigger corporates such as like the Swedish Fish, the Chips
Mm.
Ahoy, and so on, and they are trying to get the legit marketing on their tops. So I appreciate it and I respect that a lot. But at the same time, you can't just like neglect the brand that is trying to do something cool and try to give a bow for, let's say, there is this fourth of May. So many brands are using the fonts and like may the fourth be with you and so on,
Yep.
and they're like quoting the Star Wars themes and so on. So
Hmm.
it's also like a appreciation for the trilogy and for the film. So I think that at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt the Disney or their like marketing. It just helps them. But of course, yeah, some people can say, oh yeah, they're like stealing their licensing. Oh, I call it the bullshit. To me, it's like it's not like it's not that that serious. And I
Hmm.
think that as Shane said, one guy will throw a stone and then like thousands of stones gonna rock your world. So I don't think
It's
it,
I see. There's a fine line between fun and infringement, I
yes,
guess.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, it's like a really fine line. Like if that product didn't have Darth Vader on there, and like you just saw it on a shelf, you
yeah,
probably wouldn't care. But
Yeah.
because it's got that Darth, because everyone's seen that font style before, um, similar, maybe even in the name. Like, but it's just so weird that it's that one thing. And I guess that like, but it's all in a nod to Star Wars. And like I said, it's such a fine line that even I, like I said myself, I've seen products that I wouldn't even remotely think had a problem and I've seen corporations act within like 12 hours.
Yeah.
Again, I won't name any names, but like they're fast. It's like when they know, they know. But then I've seen some that I thought were really obvious, and no one gave two flying shits.
Like green
So
cola.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
And you even confused Lukasz.
Yeah.
Yes, and I admit I was fucking wrong because the green fucking cola is from Greece.
Yeah, see? There you go. So like that's actually an ideal example. That's what I thought would never have been.
Yeah.
But honestly,
Like-
that's a fucking brilliant marketing. I gotta admit that.
Yeah. Fernando saying they should have done something like craft beer does, reference that Star Wars fans would understand without using the name Star Wars. Yeah, like
That's a good point.
you could call
Yeah.
it, Red Leader or Red 5 or something, because that's what Luke's X-Wing
Yeah.
was. Or you could say, I don't know, call it Yoda Milk or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I said, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's such a fine line between, like, obviously it was to nod Star Wars. That was kind of the thing. It kind of gathered that.
Yeah.
But it's just like, oh, if he didn't call it Star Wars and something a little less obvious and didn't have Darth Vader, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Or if he made it like I don't know, like a gas mask, but in that Darth Vader kind of colors, and then you had the font, people would put it together. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's just like such a fine line to
Right.
walk. And they hadn't released it, so I mean, like I said, I put them out there. I'm not gonna make
Yeah.
a judgment call.
Well, I mean,
until
even
it
if
happens.
maybe they weren't even intent on doing it. Maybe they had no intention of actually releasing the product. But look, they got 30 minutes of us talking about it, plus they got the coverage that you had, so it brings exposure to the brand,
That's
good,
why,
bad, or otherwise.
That's why I thought that
So.
Instagram thing where they were saying the rat we picked up. I thought that was such a. I don't know what his story behind that is, but like I thought it was kind of like a. It almost seemed like oh we tested, we saw, kind of thing. It was
Yep.
It was funny.
Rat
But
one.
yeah, I'm glad that they changed it. I didn't because I thought they said they were going to send it to me Monday, but there it is.
There we go.
But like I said, like Lukasz was asking, he said, "Where did it go?" I took it down because they're going to give me a new one, so there's no point. They're changing it, so I was like, "Sweet."
Yeah.
The new story will be pretty much exactly the same with a different picture. I'll probably
Just a different picture.
I'm probably just going to copy the previous one and then just change all the things. But
Yeah, but the label probably will stay the same, right? As far as the ingredient profile.
the ingredients, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I can tell you right now, I've probably done it for 100 different products where people have been like, "Oh, can you just delete this? This is actually not the final one," and I've had to delete it and then change it and edit it. Be like, "Oh, the name's going to be slightly different," or I mean, there's a mountain of times that's happened, but yeah, as far as I know, the formula is the same. Just that look,
Hmm.
All right.
which doesn't seem as Star Wars themed, but.
No. This is one that came in through the email. What are your thoughts on isopropyl norepinephrine? Good to take, and Matthew is the one asking that. So he sent this to my direct inbox. I don't know if he wanted me to reply with it at this, but I figured this makes for a good topic for discussion because we're seeing it more and more in pre-workout. So I'll let you all kind of lead this off, and then I can go into kind of like some of the pharmacology of it and the nerdy shit.
Jane, what you think?
Haven't had a pre-workout with it that I didn't like, so I felt it's a.
Do you? Well, I guess let's phrase it this way. Do you
I've never tried
notice
it by
it?
itself. So
Do you notice it adding anything that you haven't already felt, like compared, like you take a caffeine only pre-workout, then you take something that's got isopropyl in it. Do you notice much of a difference between the two? Like, is it adding anything to it at all, performance or stim focus wise?
It's hard though because the pre-workouts I've had it with, you know, when you're talking about this ingredient, when you're talking about ISO, you're not going to find a pre-workout that has just this or has
Yeah.
caffeine in this. They typically have a few other things that are sort of going to make it hit like a train.
Yeah.
And so the products that I've had they all have that alpha yo kind of feeling, that hit, that surge, that like slap in the face. So I just get the feeling that it's in that kind of realm, like a nice strong hit to get you going. I've never really run it by itself, but I've enjoyed its presence.
Gotcha.
Speaking of naughty boy, regards from Clint. He just texted me, so shout out from him and his team. Yeah, but I personally never tried the solo ISO. I only tried the Synephrine in combination with Yohimbine, and it always worked really good for me, especially on the energy and the focus standpoint. And if you are cutting, that's a really good stack. And you can also add some caffeine to it, and you got that perfect combo. Especially, in the morning on the empty stomach, it keeps you going, and it stimulates your appetite. So you're like, you can't eat for like 4 or 5 hours or something. So that's a good option, especially if you're cutting and you don't want to consume your calories early in the morning. But from the isopropanol Synephrine perspective, there are some products that have it, but as Shane said, they're always stacked to the brim with other stems, so it's hard to isolate this compound effect solely. So yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah. From like the chemistry side of things, it's an analog of regular Synephrine. So Synephrine's an alkaloid that's in bitter orange. Here's the thing, though. Isopropyl norepinephrine is a synthetic analog. It is not naturally occurring in nature. So therefore, it is not legal, technically, according to DeGea, to be used in dietary supplements. It has been shown in one cell culture study to have stronger lipolytic activity than regular Synephrine, but that hasn't been replicated in actual when it's orally administered to humans. From an experience standpoint, kind of like Shane and Lukasz already said, it's typically complexed in there with 5 other stimulants, including caffeine at a whopping dose, usually DMHA or something like alpha yohimbine or regular yohimbine. Do I think it's adding much to it? I really don't know. I don't think it's necessarily good to take. I'd rather use regular Synephrine, which is approved for use in dietary supplements, has been shown to be effective for increasing energy expenditure, decreasing appetite, and when used in combination with caffeine, actually increases athletic performance and fat oxidation to a certain extent. So I would choose regular Synephrine every day over isopropyl norepinephrine. There's really no human data for it. It's never been approved for use in humans from like the legal side of things. And if you go back to that study we were discussing last week, a lot of the companies that are saying isopropyl norepinephrine is in their products wasn't actually in there. So do you know if you're actually getting that or not? So that's kind of where I keep it all there.
Yeah, industry it's a beautiful place, isn't it?
It's wonderful, man. It's good.
It's Star Wars, Loopy Fruits, Skittles,
Green Cola.
Isopropyl norepinephrine. No, not really.
No.
By the way, Robert, I wanted to ask you because we are in topic of fat burners, and one of my friends asked me about it because on the market right now there is a product that contains 11-hydroxy-yohimbine. Have you heard about it, and have you maybe had a chance to test it out?
I have not tested it out solo by myself. I know it's it's one of the alkaloids that's in the yohimbi plant, but I've never actually tried it myself. My only experience with it may have been the full spectrum extract that NutriBio has. It's 100 milligrams of yohimbi extract, and it supplies 4 milligrams of actual yohimbine alkaloids, but then there's a bunch of other alkaloids that are just it's not standardized for, but they're actually occurring in there. And if you take that thing, man, you are sweating your balls off for like a good 4 hours. Like you are stimmed out and you are sweating like a motherfucker. It feels great. So I mean, I know that's having some kind of effect in there. That's because I've taken regular yohimbine up to 10 milligrams. It doesn't hit at all like this yohimbi extract does. That yohimbi extract is fucking powerful. It's great, but I mean it's serious.
Because I've heard that this particular yohimbine, the 11-hydroxy, it keeps the if you're gonna stack it, for example, with alpha yo and the yohimbine HCl, it keeps the longevity of the yohimbine way much longer.
Interesting.
So yeah, you have this, the bigger spark, but at the same time it keeps you more stable, so you don't have also any crash or anything like this. That's why they always like try to stack 11 hydroxy with other forms of yohimbine.
Yeah, I think that's why you're probably better off just going with like that regular yohimbi extract, and you standardize it for the alkaloid, so that way you're getting all of them, and they're all in like kind of their naturally occurring ratios. So it's one of those things where like the sum is greater, or like the whole is greater than the sum of the parts kind of thing, or some of the parts is greater than the whole, however the expression goes. It's like you get that synergistic, complementary effect of all the other stuff in there, which is, along the lines of another fat burner ingredient like green tea extract has been shown to be more bioavailable and effective than just supplementing with EGCG by itself, because you're getting all those fun other little bioactives that are in there that are kind of working in combination with each other to enhance the overall effectiveness of the ingredient.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if I've actually feel that with natural caffeine though. Like natural caffeine versus caffeine anhydrous, I don't really get much of a difference with that. But I think
I
that's
know people have said there is, but
yeah, I don't get much of that.
if I was trying like 100 milligrams versus 100 milligrams, maybe. But when you're just a crackhead waiting for a hit, I mean, you give me dirty crack, and give me artificial crack. It's all good.
Devin,
caffeine, that's all.
We have all heard of DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, and most have probably experienced it. Is there a theory or scientific reason why soreness occurs later, specifically after a night's rest, when recovery typically takes place? Gentlemen, any thoughts on DOMS?
I mean, I have theories, but I'm sure if there's a scientific answer, it would be amazing, because I've just thought, I'm gonna, like when your mum would say, "I'm gonna hit you so hard,"
you're gonna feel it next Tuesday.
So I feel like there's like a time travel thing here. Like you worked out so hard, you're not gonna hurt till fucking 2 days from now.
Yeah.
I don't know what the science is.
What do you? I mean, like, well, I guess what do you like? You said you might have some thoughts or theories on it. So what do you think is it?
I don't know. Maybe like it's something in the realm of like when you this is a very weird example, like you break your leg, looking at it and you're like like you're kind of not really taking it in yet, and then like what's this, the adrenaline, the initial rush. I don't know, like for me it seems impossible that you could completely ignore the pain of a broken leg, but people do it, and then they don't notice it or even feel it at all sometimes, until like hours later they're like, oh shit, yeah, I really broke my leg. Like they don't really get it. I'm not saying that DOMS is the same, but it seems very humanly possible that you could hurt yourself so bad that you don't feel it for another 2 days. I don't quite know but then the other thing is, just because you're not feeling sore doesn't mean your muscles aren't hurt, kind of thing.
Correct.
So like I said, I have ideas, but I really hope there's a scientific explanation, because that would be really good.
You got any thoughts, Lucas?
You know what? Back in the days when I was training the row split, so I was doing every body part once per week, and I remember I was training like maybe 2.5 hours, and I was just like smashing a body part.
Yeah.
And it was I was young, I was dumb, I was and I was stupid at the same time, and I was fucking stemmed to the brim. You know what? And after like, let's say leg day or something, I couldn't like sit on my toilet. I was just like the leg cramps, and my ass was beat up too.
Yeah.
It was like, this is Sparta, man. And I was like, I was that. But you know what? Nowadays, I'm training every body part like twice per week, and I don't have any issues with my recovery. So that just shows, that intensity plays a big role here, and also if you're smart with your training, if you're not like training like an asshole, and doing like 20 exercises on your session, then you should be fine, you always need to like see what you want to achieve, what are your goals, and at the same time, try to like see how your body reacts to stimulus. So
Agreed.
that's my take on it. Yeah.
Typically like you've got three phases. Not three phases. Like you've got the eccentric, which is the lowering part of the muscle when the muscle's elongating. You've got a stretch at the bottom. You've got the concentric when you're coming up there, and you can get that squeeze at the top. The eccentric part of the exercise is the more damaging part to the muscle fibers. And so the majority of what's causing DOMS is the eccentric overload that's happening. It's creating a bunch of micro tears in the fibers. It used to be thought that lactic acid was the cause. Like you build up so much lactic acid in your muscles, and that's what the burning is. But that's been debunked in studies by now. The majority of it is typically due to the micro tears that occur in the muscle fibers during training. There's also, part of a neurological component. So like say you spend 4 weeks doing flat bench, then for the next, on your 5th week, you switch from going flat bench first, then you go to incline bench. You're going to be more sore there if you haven't done a particular exercise, because there's some neurological adaptations that are going in. You're stretching the muscles from kind of a different, a different range of motion, a different force vector. And so that's going to play into it a little. So novelty of movement, novelty of exercise is going to play a factor in it. The degree of muscle damage that you're going into it is also all going to play a factor in the onset of DOMS. And like Lukasz said, how intense are you training? Like if you go and do, volume and intensity, you're going to have to do it too. So what's your base level of fitness? If you're somebody that's used to doing 20 sets of workout and you go and you smash 20 sets, you're probably not going to be that sore. But if you're somebody that does nothing and you try to go into do like a 24 set chest and back routine, you're going to be so sore. I mean, you're not going to be able to, move your hands to wipe your ass or wash your hair for a week. I mean, it's kind of one of those things. So there's a couple of things at play. It's like total volume load that you're dealing with, the intensity of those sets, what's your base level of fitness, how much micro tears are you actually in trauma, are you actually causing to the muscle fibers themselves, and how novel is this to your nervous system.
And also you need to keep in mind that, if you're taking a break from the gym, like let's say, there was a massive lockdown, you were not training for, let's say, 2-3 months, and you are coming back to the gym, and you are like, okay, I'm going to do my program that I just ended up like 3 months ago. So I'm going to the bench, 100 kilograms. So next day you're going to be like screwed up. So
that's exactly what I did. Got a lockdown. I was like, all the videos were like, don't go rushing into it. I was like, yeah, okay, I'll be smart. And then like first day I get there, I was like, fuck this shit, I'm going ham. But see, you're saying that, like, I understand the muscle tears and all that shit and the intensity, but how come there's a day where you don't feel it, then you feel it the next day?
That I don't know. Like maybe it's just the body. Like it's got something to do. So like after you work out, there's inflammation that goes on, and then as the days go by, the inflammation starts to go less, and some of those pain receptors may become a little bit more hyperactive. Then I don't know.
Is it because it's maybe like you worked out so hard, you're so sore that you can't even comprehend it, and then after you've like recovered a little bit, it then gets you back into that realm of like you're not fully recovered, but here's the pain.
I mean, it could be. I don't know. Like it's weird. So like the day after, I'll do like dips. If I haven't done dips in a while, the day after dips, I feel fine. My shoulders feel fine. My upper pecs right here feel fine. 2 days later, man, it hurts. That up right there and that upper little part right there. God, it's freaking miserable. It's miserable doing that. But
there's not you don't have a solid explanation.
Not for like why it's like a 48-hour lapse. I know the mechanism of what's causing the DOMS. I just don't know why. And then maybe it's muscle group dependent. So like my legs won't be sore for the day right afterwards, but like for like 48 hours after the training session, 72, they'll be sore.
It's mostly legs that it happens.
It's always like that. After leg day, it was like after like 24 hours, I'm super fresh. After 48, man, I can't walk.
Yeah, it sucks. Fernando, that NutraBio Yohimbine is insane. It's good stuff, man. If you were looking for if you just have a regular caffeine pre-workout and you want to get a little spicy one day, take a cap of that with it, and that's all she wrote. You'll be good. Sean, yes, Skeleton Crew today. Robbie is we kicked Robbie off the podcast. We got sick of his flippant attitude.
Someone needs to pay.
Shane, what else you got in the queue for us?
I think I lost the fucking questions. Look,
You're
this
gonna be the
isn't
next
my
one fired
job,
from the
man.
podcast.
This is my job, okay?
Hard to do a podcast with you
I
guys.
did it twice. I did it last week and the week before. I mean, this week and the week before. So the fact that I got one question, and we'd spent like 30 minutes talking about that question, so it was a pretty good investment, I think.
It was a good one. It was a good one.
I'll find them again.
Okay, yeah, keep them up there. I'll pull one
It's
from
tricky
the
because
list.
I wasn't familiar with, when you add the little widget, then you have to go into the find the story, and then you find the answers.
I
thought
don't know
people
how
would
any of
just
that
go-
works.
I just thought people were going to message them to me. But when you use that little widget and they put a question in, the only way to find them is to go back through your history and swipe up. And I'm
What
like,
the
God
hell are you
damn it."
talking about, man?
Yeah, see, I'm not that savvy.
Well,
You lost
this
me.
is
You lost me on the widget.
this is Instagram, Lucas. You don't have Instagram.
That's why you lost me.
You'll walk through a porn store on the way home, but you won't download Instagram.
For the listeners just tuning in, there was a miscommunication in the
I
translation
said
between.
passing. First of all, I said passing. I didn't say walk through.
You did say through. That was why I asked. You
Yeah,
said,
but I said
"Oh,
passing through, not
there's heaps of Darth
walking
Vaders,
by.
like in the porn stores, in the porn stores." What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh my goodness! Oh
I
my
understand. I
goodness.
understand what you mean now, but it's still funny.
Oh fuck.
Always.
For pump and endurance, betaine nitrate or arginine nitrate, and how much for either one? Lucas, you want to take an opening crack at this?
I would always go with betaine. I don't know why, but to be honest, I'm a big fan of betaine. In all, so if you ask me which one should I choose, I will always go with the betaine. But of course, like combining them both will give you a better effect. I'm a big fan of nitrates and Uncle Ron, so yeah, man. I think that the nitrates are go-to, and yeah, if you ask me which one, I would definitely say the betaine. As far as the dosages, I would say like a gram.
Yeah,
I've never
there's really not it's not like an either or thing. Like, so the main workhorse here is the nitrate component. There is one added benefit of arginine nitrate, and that arginine can help attenuate tolerance to nitrates. The same thing vitamin C does. So you keep taking nitrates over and over again, your body kind of get used to it, kind of like it would with caffeine. Arginine and vitamin C help prevent that tolerance or that habituation to it. The benefit of betaine is that it's an osmolyte. It'll encourage cellular hydration, and so we've got what a cool study, or a cool combo could be, is to get betaine nitrate to get an efficacious amount of nitrates, and then you just supplement in the rest of that with additional betaine anhydrous, to where you end up with that full 2.5 grams of betaine.
Yeah.
As far as
that's what Pump and Iron did.
Yeah.
The one they did,
exactly.
citrulline nitrate, betaine nitrate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then as far as like the payload of what nitrates you want, most of the studies you're using, I was talking with Robbie about this the other day because we're kicking around a few ideas. But the amount of nitrates that you're looking for, it's based on milligrams per kilogram. So it's anywhere in the range of 310 to 1550 milligrams total dose. And so each amino bound nitrate is going to have a different composition of, so you're going to get a little bit of nitrate and you're going to get a little bit of betaine. I think arginine nitrate is 60% nitrate.
I've seen I remember there was one dedicated did it in one of their supplements. They did a fully transparent one where they outlined. Yeah, they outlined it.
Yeah, you can maybe Robert, you can put it up. Vasogrow dedicated.
They list the exact. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I thought.
Here, I've got this.
They had citrulline that was listed in the transparent. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know. Here, Joey had this from Glaxon, posted this. So there's your thing. So nitrate yield per gram. This is this column here. So betaine nitrate is 35% nitrate. So for every 1,000 milligrams of betaine nitrate, you're getting 346 milligrams of nitrate. So So yeah, so if you're going to do that, you would, and
Okay,
arginine nitrate is 26% nitrate by yield. So you would need, maybe 3 grams of arginine nitrate or 2.5 to 3 grams of arginine nitrate by itself to get into that efficacious range. Same thing with betaine nitrate. You're going to need, 2 to 3 grams of it to get in there. Sodium nitrate's obviously the highest, which is that's pretty awesome. Yeah, and I know
that was the one that Performex was using at some point.
Yep, and potassium nitrate, iForce used to have that, which I don't think they do anymore though.
What was the product name? I don't remember.
Yeah. And Joey basically says it right there where we were just saying there is no best nitrate. You just want to get the actual yield of nitrate, and so you want anywhere between.
Well, arguably, sodium nitrate would be the best one on that list there.
Yeah. But yeah, anywhere 310 to 1,550 milligrams. But here's the kicker for all the listeners out there with nitrates. If you go read through the studies, they aren't administering these nitrates 30 minutes before a resistance training or an exercise session. It takes 2.5 to 3 hours for the nitrates to load in your system. So you need to be taking this 2 to 3 hours before your training session, not 30 minutes, not 45 minutes like you do with citrulline or nitrosogene. This is like a multi-hour thing.
That's the thing. That's why I loved the dedicated nutrition base bro, because you had 2 dosages and there was split. One serving you took in the morning, and the other one you took before bed. Yeah. So you had this like 24-hour, pump effect.
Yep.
And seriously, after like taking consistently for like 4 or 5 days, when you got this saturation in your muscles, then you felt amazing, and you felt like instantly pumped like throughout the entire day, basically.
Yeah. That's what.
That one, it's Hemavol. That's the one I think Lukasz.
Oh yeah, of. Yeah.
I was trying to remember the famous one, and I could not for the life of me remember it.
Hemavol's good. Chris Duffin over at Build Fast Formulas recommends even taking their Vaso Blitz or what Vaso is that what it is? Even on off days, he says take it on off days too. Yeah, because they've got a whopping nitrate dose in there. Yeah. Your thoughts on crap? Just go with creatine monohydrate. That's a simple one.
Yeah.
Okay.
End of story.
Garbage creatine. Don't waste your money on it, Greg. And thank you for supporting us. He tunes into the Friday lives I do at Steve Shaw over on the Massive Iron channel. So he's a regular over there.
While we're on that topic, any update on the brand? Maybe.
Oh yes.
Yes. The labels arrived at the manufacturer Thursday. They did their blending of it this week, and so next 7 to 10 days, it should be shipping out, I would imagine.
I mean, you gotta be getting pretty wet, pretty hard for having that tub in your hand, right?
I'm excited.
It's gotta be pretty exciting to get it in hand.
It will be. But, I mean, it's kind of like I love all my children, so like on the products I help Robbie out with, it's the same.
I mean, everyone says that, but they always got a favorite, right?
I mean, that's why I only have one. I only have one child. We didn't have enough. That's like asking me who's my favorite person on the Final Scoop. I love you all equally. I don't have a favorite.
Aww.
That's bullshit. That's like when I said to my mom, I was like, who's your favorite? She said, you're all my favorite. I was like, that's a political fucking answer. There's 3 of us. You can't all love us equally, okay?
Yeah.
We all know which one you love. Everybody has their favorites. You just need to ask at the right time.
He loves McDonald's.
Yeah. Burger King, Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, you're all my children, but I love McDonald's the most.
Justin, can you discuss how bioperin and estrogen work? Do they only work acutely, or does it have a cumulative or a daily effect? Anybody want to lead off?
This is a Robert question.
Yeah, exactly.
And this, I think I know. I've heard a lot about these two, but mostly because they work quite differently. They work better for some ingredients and some others. So I assume.
Yeah. So estrogen's mostly been shown. Most of the research behind that is improving amino uptake. That's why you're starting to see it more in like pre-workouts, intra-workouts, post-workouts, things like that. Bioperin inhibits the one of the major drug metabolizing enzymes in the body, and it's been shown to enhance bioavailability of curcumin, resveratrol, and a bunch of other kind of fun little bioactives that typically have pretty poor bioavailability in plants. Do they work acutely? Yes. Bioperin does provide that acute effect. So like when you take it with that curcumin or you take it with the resveratrol or whatever, yeah, you're getting that enhanced bioavailability there because it's doing a very short term. You wouldn't want to inhibit that major drug metabolizing enzyme permanently in your body. So that is offering an acute effect. Estrogen does a couple of different things. I wrote a fairly long article on it's on primevallabs.com website. I don't remember the exact mechanism. Let me pull it up real quick, and then we can go through that. If you're looking for both of them stacked together, NutraBio has a product called Absorb. That's got that on there.
It's a good one because you can basically stack it with every supplement, and it can enhance the absorption of the ingredients. So
yeah,
that is pretty cool.
All right, so
it'll be hard to find a pre-workout or a product that doesn't have one or both of these days.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Most of them are doing it in some shape or form.
Here's estrogen. It's a blend of astragalus or astragalus membranicus and panax nodo ginseng. It's been shown to enhance the absorption of a bunch of stuff. So amino acids, vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, other dietary supplements like creatine. It enhances ingredient absorption by upregulating the absorption-specific mRNA and transporters such as SGLT1, CAT1, and GLUT4, which is one of the major glucose transporters in the wall. It's also been shown to help repair damage done to intestinal walls and reduce intestinal submucosal inflammation. So it helps counteract some of the inflammation in the gut, so it supports gut health that way. And it also upregulates the activity of certain transporters that facilitate the delivery of nutrients across the small intestine. So it takes it so when you take an ingredient, it goes through your mouth, down your throat, into your stomach. Anything that survives the stomach goes into the small intestine. That's where the main absorption goes. It gets carried from the small intestine up into the bloodstream. And so estrogen's kind of massaging and helping these little transporters take it from the small intestine across the barrier into the bloodstream, and that's how it's helping it there. So they're working via different mechanisms there. So they're complementary in a sense. So there you go.
It's hard to find a supplement that doesn't have one or the other these days.
Yeah, as long. I mean, what I don't get is some companies just kind of throw it in there, but there's no ingredients in there that would actually. Yeah. It's not necessarily like something like citrulline. Citrulline doesn't have low bioavailability. Regular creatine monohydrate doesn't have low bioavailability. So do you really need to put estrogen with it?
I mean, we're talking 1% here. Talking 5%.
Yeah, I don't know.
5% extra for 5% hey, if it helps the gains, man, come on.
Maybe so.
You can't deny it.
Rod, just drink a strong cup of coffee pre-workout. I mean, I do that sometimes, but
it's fucking gross.
Coffee is delicious.
It's 9 p.m. my time now, man. So no coffee for me, man.
Any thoughts on Gorilla? I feel like who is this brand come out of like nowhere? Because Steve and I get questions on this. It seems like every other Friday, and I feel like I've talked about this shit like 1,000 times.
It's on YouTube. It's advertised by some influencers. So I saw the advertisements, but I didn't check the labels and so on. But from
let's see,
from the market perspective, it's a big 8 basically.
If it's a big ape. I mean, we want to talk about. I mean, like Primeval's got the ape shit. So I mean, could Primeval go after them for saying you're copying a monkey on the label? Should we just want to start shit?
Start the war, man. Throw the first stone.
Guerrilla wars.
Guerrilla mode.
All right, let me pull this up. Wait, damn it. There we go.
Derek from More Plates, More Dates was doing the video on it.
Okay, so here is Guerrilla Mode. This is their pre-workout. It's $50 for 40 servings, but this is really one of those 40-20 kind of things,
Whoa,
I think.
that's a pretty nice mix when you're doubling those.
Yeah, so we get 4.5
It's
grams of
definitely
citrulline.
double scooper.
Yeah,
Whoa.
you definitely need 2 scoops of this. So you're gonna it's gonna be
Definitely.
$2 and change per serving.
Yeah.
So we'll just double all these dosages. So 9 grams of citrulline, solid. 5 grams of creatine monohydrate, again, solid. Does it need to be in a pre-workout? Not necessarily, but they're doing it the full dose, so that's appreciated. Glycerol, we don't know what is this glycerol monostearate? Is this Hydromax? Is it glycersize? With that.
I think it's just the generic one.
Yeah. So that's even worse because that's like 20% glycerol. If that. 1,500 milligrams malic acid. That's not. I mean, that's instead of them listing citrulline malate, they just put the malic acid in there. That's not going to confer any kind of
Yeah. Can you explain what's the point
of what?
of adding a separate malic acid and L-citrulline?
Oh well, that's.
The mix?
I mean, well, because like when you list citrulline malate by itself like that, like if you list it as a single ingredient, way back in the day, and this is something Mark over at NutriBio has said before. Like back in the day, it actually used to be bonded, so the citrulline was actually bonded to the malic acid, but it dispersed as soon as you put it in a solution. So the citrulline and malic acid would automatically dissociate as soon as it went into solution. Here, so he's saying all the citrulline malate that you're buying bulk and like kilos and kilos of, all they're doing is they're just mixing L-citrulline with malic acid. It's not actually citrulline malate. It's just a combination of citrulline and malic acid. So, props to Gorilla Mode for actually listing it as it should be. In there. So, but the malic acid, it's really just going to be a flavoring component. It doesn't really confer any kind of ergogenic benefit. Betaine, you're going to get 2.5 grams of that. That's a solid dose. 1,500 milligrams of tyrosine, again solid. 1,000 milligrams of agmatine, great. 500 milligrams of Kana. I don't know the standardization on it. I like the Zembrin form of it more, which is the patented trademark one. Here's where things get dicey for me. Is you double this 400 micrograms of huperzine. I don't like that ingredient dose that high for just everyday individuals. Like they've used 400 and 500 micrograms in individuals with Alzheimer's, but for healthy, well-functioning individuals that aren't in cognitive decline, I don't like going much higher than 200 micrograms in a day. Just because it's got such a long half-life, and you take too much huperzine, you'll be in a world of hurt.
I've heard that it can be oversaturated in your body and it could cause some issues.
Yeah, you can feel nauseous. You could feel like you're in this perennial brain fog. Or some people get like really ringing in the ears. You start seeing real, like super vibrant, lush colors. Yeah. So I mean, if they have that, or cut it in a fourth or something, I'd be much happier with that.
Like taking it every day wouldn't be that good, but taking say two times per week on a double scoop.
I like it. I reckon it's a nice little well-rounded product.
Let's see, Gorilla Mode Energy. Let's check. So this is I'm guessing their stem bomb. All right.
It's just the back half of the pre-workout.
The caffeine's a little higher, and again, look, I mean, it's 400 micrograms of huperzine if you're going to double it.
Yeah, it's the same as the.
It's the same as the previous product. Yeah.
Double the tyrosine, double the Kana.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I mean, to be fair, you can't. I was gonna say you could arguably stack it. One scoop of this with one scoop of the other one, but
but still, you will have exactly the same amount of huperzine A, which is
you'd just be
500 milligrams.
What's the nitric one? I'm assuming this is the stem-free pump.
Yeah. Okay, so you double this: 10 grams of citrulline, 5 grams of creatine, 4 grams of betaine, 4 grams of glycerol, 1,500 of agmatine, 1,500 of nitrosogene, 1,500 of sodium nitrate. That would be nice.
Is this This is like the top half is again similar to the pre-workout, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would just doing one scoop of this with one scoop of the pre-workout, not double scooping it. That could make for a really
That
nice
would
pump.
be,
Although
yeah.
this 127 of Vasodrive, I mean, this is a super expensive ingredient, but I mean, I would rather
It's
you.
another double thing, isn't it?
Well, yeah, this one needs to be double. I mean, this one needs to be quadrupled. I mean,
But
this
bro,
ingredient, like 508's the real dose on it, not 254, not 127.
but like taking this product like double scoop, you got 10 grams of
Yeah,
pure
you double
snowflake.
scoop this, and you double scoop the other thing. You're looking at 19 grams.
That won't be a good day because the studies on it, the max dose the body can use is 10 grams. So you'd be pissing away 9 grams of citrulline, which would be a tremendous waste of money.
I like the products. I like the formulas, but I don't like how they don't really look like they're made to work together.
No.
There's just so much overlap.
Turkish
It's getting funky down the bottom.
More and more brands are right now are releasing testosterone.
I've got a lot of turkesterone questions. Like we had a couple of them yesterday, and I mean, my opinion is that it's even like a weaker form of the 20-hydroxyecdysterone or 20-hydroxyecdysone or the beta-ecdysterone. It's 3 names for all the same compound. It's an analog of that. We've got data showing that ecdysterone may be beneficial in humans. We've got 0 data on turkesterone being effective in humans. So why even mess around with it?
But back in the day, testosterone was really popular, to be honest.
Turkesterone was?
Yeah. No, testosterone.
Oh, like ecdysterone? Yeah.
Yeah, and now he returns just like HMV. It's like circling round and around. You got this cycles, just like in the popular show. You're watching it, and then it's going out, and after some hours, after years passed, you're going back to it. So,
yep,
I don't get it.
Yeah, I'd agree with you, Rod. 200 micrograms is the sweet spot, and even then, I would only recommend people like healthy, functioning individuals that don't have any kind of acetylcholine or cognitive decline going on. Just use that, 3 times a week. Don't use it a bunch of days in consecutive because it's got a 16 to 20 hour half-life, and that can get you in trouble. 50 micrograms, yeah, 100 to 200 is kind of my sweet spot. If you want to do like a 2-scoop like serving for a pre-workout, put 50 micrograms in there per scoop, and then you'll be fine. So, have you pulled up another question, Shane, or should I pull one from our roster?
I have got... There they are. Ooh. I got 3.
Let's do it.
Odd question. This is indeed an odd question. But is wrinkly skin on hands a concern? My hands look like a 60-year-old. Oh, hold on. Sorry, is that the whole question? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Well, here's what my hands look like. Are my hands really wrinkly?
I don't know what he means.
I only have fucked up
I don't know.
hands. That's about it.
Shane, you're the youngest of the 3 of us. How wrinkly are your hands?
Yeah.
Moderate? I don't know. I feel like every time I do this, I like that ad I always see on Hulu, moderate to severe corrosive disease. I always find it just so specific that they say moderate to severe. I'm like, okay, so if it's like really bad or if it's just starting, this isn't for you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. My hands look moderate, not severe. It's like, I don't even think they're moderately wrinkly. I don't know. I don't think you should be concerned. Reviews.
My advice is to go outside and get more sunshine. That will help a lot.
Well, he says they look like a 60-year-old man. Moisturizer. Get you some I don't know.
Collagen.
Get some collagen. Get some beautiful moisturizer.
UC2 collagen and the hydrolyzed collagen peptides, or just go to the store and buy like an instant Jello packet, sugar-free Jello, and you'll save yourself a bunch of money on the collagen peptides.
Go into a beauty shop and tell one of the staff that my hands are wrinkly, and I can guarantee you they'll have some sort of serum, some sort of cream.
Oh,
They'll set you up with
you're
a
gonna
stack.
spend a lot.
Yeah, for a tube of like half ounce of anti-wrinkle cream, you can spend $48.78.
Yeah.
Maybe just ask the doctor. I suppose if you go into like a beauty store, they say, "Do you think my hands are wrinkly?" Yeah, I think they are, but we can change that straight away. The other question,
Nurse, give me my hammer.
The review bows told me, they said review bows, they're the emojis on the phone, so they sent me a little picture of it. It looks like somebody. So yeah,
Okay.
they corrected me. It looks like a little guy doing a thing.
Someone nudging someone.
I'll see if I can pull it up. Let's see if I can find it.
One of my other questions has already been answered before. I'm pretty sure we did it because I remember talking about it.
This is what they were trying to. Here we go. Share screen.
Gab.
Yeah.
Well, just the programming description of that is way off. What's that? Elbows, whatever that was said. Could have just.
To me, it's like a dab. To them, it's like coughing in a. Yeah.
That's
in
not
the
their fault. That's
No,
the programmer's fault. Should have given it a more descriptive name.
Well, they're viewing it on mobile, and we're on. I'm on desktop, so maybe there's some messed up there right there.
So this
wrinkle enhanced could be lack of could be.
Yeah, see, but I mean, if your hand looks like a 60-year-old man, like if my hands look like a 60-year-old man, and then I drank like a whole bunch of water, and that changed it, I would shit my pants. I would see the wrinkles disappear, right? You would see if that happened. I would be on fucking next bloody daytime television. Drink fucking water. Stop everything. Stop this cream. Stop this.
3 gallons.
And I would film it to just watch.
There we go.
I don't know. This guy makes it sound like I'm just imagining this young dude, like 20, who's got like this wrinkly old ass hand, like a grandpa or something. I don't know. I don't know. I say moisturizer. I don't know.
Too bad. TJ not here.
Drink some. Yeah.
I know he could.
TJ. This next question is deep. It's not porn store deep, but it's deep. It's overall predictions for the future of of supplements and the industry.
We're all going to jail.
This is deep.
I don't know. Let's start with Lukasz on this one. What are your predictions?
I'm already screwed, man. So.
More stems.
But on which level? You mean like the growth of the industry or what?
Oh, yeah,
just
open ended. Where do you think it's going to go from here?
I think it's going to evolve, and I think that more and more companies will bring something new. I hope so. Back in when we had the Bruce, for example, from the and he was providing information about his patent 3D pump. It was super interesting, and I think that it's innovative. It's something different. It's a breath of fresh air. It's things like this. Keeps me motivated and shows that the industry is trying to provide something new to the market. And I think that people like that, there's lots of opportunities to grow this industry. But if we're gonna focus on wars, such as like we saw with with the Naughty Boy and so on, then it's like doesn't make any sense to me. So always positive in every aspect of my life. So I think that if the brands will basically will try to provide customers something different.
Mm-hmm.
Research, they were always trying to. I don't think that brands gonna invest in research because we all know how it goes. There's not enough money in this industry as far as putting cash into research and checking up the ingredients and so on. Like there's only like few of people that care about that aspect, but
Mm-hmm.
no. But I still think that the future is bright, and I only hope that from the regulations perspective, there's not going to be any issues, and because here in Europe we got like many issues with regulating products nowadays, ingredients and so on. So
Mm-hmm.
and so on. So yeah, that's my few cents. I hope that that it's gonna be on a good level.
Before you chime in, Shane, let me address this real quick. Hey, Messi, any chance you can comment on my question above? I'm not sure if it was not visible for you guys. It's not visible to us right here. Nothing's popped up in the feed. Sometimes YouTube gets stupid and doesn't put the questions. It's got a 200 character limit on everything. Either try entering it in there again or just shoot me an email real quick, thesupplementengineer@gmail.com, and we'll answer your question. All right, Shane. Questions to you. Where do you think that you see the industry going? I guess, are we going to position this as sports nutrition supplements or all supplements, like all dietary supplements?
I think the entire industry.
I think it's I like to think it was more it's going to get more like functional, more protein, like on the go kind of stuff. But that category was kind of interesting for a while, and then it kind of fell off a bit. I just remember when I told Lukasz when I was in like Sweden and Norway, like the supplement stores were filled with bars, drinks, snacks. Like there wasn't a store you could go to without something on the go. And at the gyms, like you didn't have giant bags, giant tubs. It was just on the go shit, like vending machines, chillers. It was very just ready to drink. I mean, with that setup, you wouldn't necessarily need to buy a protein powder. You could just go in and grab one of those every day. It was really, but I haven't really, while that was the trend, I guess it's kind of fallen off a bit. But I would say it's just going to get more refined. Like what I've only been in for like 12 years, maybe, no, 13, 10 years running stacked. And like to where it started, where it was what, 20, like not like there wasn't 20 brands. There were just not many not many prominent brands back then.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say there was 20. Now there's like 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
While there might have been 50 and then now 2,000, whatever, that kind of scale. There still seems to be a limited amount of leaders. Like still seems to be that same amount of like big name, big dick hitters. Like they're just like you still have Optimum, Cellucor, Muscle Tech. Like as the amount of brands has grown, we haven't really got as many big guys leading the way.
Yeah.
So I like to think that I guess in 10 years we just get more brands. I guess we evolve. Like to be honest, it's still very similar to where we were 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like still attacking categories. Now it's pre-workouts. Like it's just with the increase in brands and the number of companies, there's just a lot more angles out there. It's kind of like when a country increases in population, it gets more diverse.
Mm-hmm.
It's very rare that it stays like one track mind kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I guess when the industry grows, we just get different takes, different angles. But again, the formulas still kind of seem the same. We're still kind of pushing them in this, like they just constantly evolve. Not at like a faster pace. They just seem to be jumping from trend to trend as they did back in the day. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like to imagine that in 5-10 years it'll be what it is now, but an even bigger variety of brands. And I like Lucas's point on the research. I did notice that you don't really get the companies kind of doing the research and stuff. You've got, but you have ingredient companies doing that now, where they would get the
Yeah.
ingredient, do the research for you. You know, you pay them for their version, and then you can use the claims and stuff. So
Yeah.
that solves that situation, I guess. But I would see a bigger change in the ingredient side, ingredient companies. I think you will get a lot more. They will become more prominent, kind of like how Intel in computers is quite popular.
Mhm.
Like Intel, well, people in computers know Intel and they know AMD, but they realistically don't make the computer. They make the thing that kind
The
of goes in there and
processor.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and you're slowly seeing that more with like nitrosogene. It's doing a very good job of branding itself. T-Cream, Dynamine. I think we're going to see more of that, and then you get all the brands. But I like where it is. I think we'll just keep going. Get more candy flavors, Indiana Jones supplements. I don't know.
Star Wars.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think
Yeah.
we're gonna start to see more of the like more like, so they had a company that did the Dragon Ball Z line of supplements. Do you think we're gonna see more of like those
Yeah.
nostalgia things, like an official Stranger Things supplements, official Indiana Jones line of supplements? Like, is Disney just
No.
gonna drop the hammer and say, hey, we're gonna do official Indiana Jones, official Star Wars, those kind of things to jump into
I
it?
spoke to someone who said they were doing licensing in some other fashion, and they bought it up. And I remember bringing it up here before, and they said to me, it's the obvious why Disney wouldn't do it. Same reason why Nike wouldn't do it, because the minute like it wouldn't take much. Let's say Disney does a pre-workout. Let's say Nike does a pre-workout, right? And let's
Yeah.
say there's a supplement that shows up on the shelf with a drug in it, which isn't completely far-fetched.
True.
And let's say it's right beside Disney on the shelf, just so happens to be there. You think that they're going to put a picture up without including Disney? I mean,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be, and Disney doesn't even want to be in the same fucking town as that kind of shit. They couldn't. It would just be ridiculously bad
Yeah.
for their image. So, I mean, we're talking a company that it's Disney. Yes, they do like adult things like Star Wars, and I mean, if you can call that adult stuff, but they do Disney princesses and shit. They
Yeah.
don't want to be associated.
You don't want a
with-
Cinderella pre-workout or Cinderella amino formula?
I would, but for
I know.
them, I feel like the risk outweighs the reward, right?
Oh yeah, it absolutely does.
I mean, I like our industry, but damn.
Yeah.
Got
Oh, Mickey Mouse
pre-workouts called
pre-workout
crack.
for 5-year-olds. Give them like 3 milligrams of caffeine, 1 gram of citrulline.
No, just give them a fucking a little sugar,
Half-
just a little
Half a
tub of
sugar
sugar.
and a food cup. Yeah.
I
There
give
you
my
go.
daughter sugar, and she gets more wired than me off 500 milligrams of caffeine. I wish I enjoyed life as much as her on sugar. God damn.
Fly like a kite.
Yeah, that's a really good point you actually brought up, Shane, about the ingredient houses kind of leading the way, as far as with like the next evolution of the thing. So like we had the
I don't know if
brands
they're
build
leading,
up
but
everything.
They're more important.
Yeah,
than
getting a
they
more
once
prominent
were.
foothold or being more known, because nobody used to know who was putting out
Back in
X, Y, and Z ingredient.
2010, I couldn't name fucking any of them.
Yeah,
I can't recall a branded one. Hydromax I know has been around for a while. I know that one.
yeah.
That one's been around for a very long time, but I mean, I'll be hard pressed to find anything else.
Right.
Yeah.
I would like to see more research done, but there's no money in it whatsoever. At least for the brand side. Like if you've got something that could actually compete on the level of a pharmaceutical, maybe it's worth investing into. But then at that point, you're going to go and start running the human phase trials, and at that point, you're going to make your billions on selling a drug, not a dietary supplement.
Yeah, I remember when I was like finishing my master's degree, and I was almost, then one of my my teacher said that, okay, Lucas, so you're planning to do a PhD? And I was like, yeah, I was planning to do it, but the financing was
Not
non-existent, basically,
Yeah.
and sometimes we had to like cover some some things in the laboratory just to like do our expertise and so on. So yeah, if that would be like that, then I would say fuck no, because I
Yeah.
would then have to finance all my PhD and all my thesis. So that's impossible, especially here in Poland. That's crazy.
Yeah. Messy. Nothing came through on our end still as far as comments. So maybe try sending it to my email address. That might help for whatever. I'm curious to see what the comment question was.
The ingredient thing though is it's good though, because when you think about it, even if let's say we get the more brands there are, the better it's going to be for an ingredient company, because they're going to better put in a lot more money into they're going to be more encouraged to put more money into research, because they're going to want you to use theirs over this and so on. So I mean, it seems like a much better situation than a brand going through that and only really being able to use it for their one product. But
yeah,
I mean,
because if the brands get involved, then many people will say, oh, they all did all this testing,
I mean,
they
it's the
paid for
same
it, they paid for the testing. That's what
it's the
pisses
same
me off,
for
man.
it's the same for an ingredient company. But
Yeah,
I mean, of course you're gonna spend all this money. So you know what? I'm gonna give you 50 grand. I want to study. I don't care how it turns out. If it turns out shitty, we'll just do it again. Of course they want it to be good. Of course they're gonna want it. They're not gonna share a study and be like, hey, buy my new ingredient. It doesn't increase shit. Of course they're always gonna no one like you're always gonna have that. That was kind of like I've had questions before when someone said to me, "Oh, this brand must have paid you to share this release," and I was like, "Nah, man." And he said to me, "What are you talking about?" It's like they're one of the biggest brands. They had to have paid you. I said, "No, not even an affiliate. I was too lazy." And he just said, I can't believe that you guys and them don't have some sort of connection." And I was like, my point is that he has seen so much of this shit in the industry that he just couldn't
yeah,
believe it any
Yeah,
other
it's a
way.
pay to play system for a lot of sites.
So I guess like it's kind of like the research thing. While there are people out there and brands and who like, my point was that there are brands out there that obviously pay to sway their studies. It's just going to be incredibly difficult, because if you're absolutely genuine, there will people out there that are just too used to it that are going to like just not going to believe it. It's just too difficult. And it's
Yeah.
not necessarily like their fault. It's just the industry's fault. They just seen it too much. If you get bitten by a dog, 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to want to go near a dog. You see a lot of studies that were swayed. You're probably not going to believe one when you see it. So I guess it's just you just gotta. Ingredient companies are getting better though, and the more that you get doing it, I think it'll be better. So
Yeah. I don't have an issue with an ingredient house or even a supplement company funding a study, so long as that's all they're doing. They're supplying the raw material, so they're supplying their pre-workout, and maybe they're kicking in some money to pay the people to rent the equipment or the stipend for the test subjects or whatever. When the company starts having a say in how the data is presented or how the tests are run, or they're an author on the study in the paper or something, or they have a right to not publish a paper, that's where you start to run into those conflicts of interest. But if all they're doing, like say NutriBio wants to fund a study, take our pre-extreme, here you go with that. Here's $100,000. Do with it as you need to. Buy whatever equipment you need to, and that's all they did. And then they come back. The university comes back in 6 months, say, "Hey, here you go, Mark. Here's what we found out. Here's what happened." If that's all that it is that the company is doing, or Nutrition 21 does that, that's fine. Yes, it's an industry funded study, but the NIH, the World Health Organization, isn't going to pay us to research nitrosamine or citrulline or huperzine effects on that. So as long as like the people contributing the money aren't having a seat at the table of writing the study, running it or anything like that, if they are just, here's our money, we're just going to sit back and wait for the results to come, that's fine in my book.
if the study comes up bad, like let's just say it's shit, does it get published anyway?
I think it should be, yeah. I mean, if you have Yeah.
No, but I mean,
mean,
like, I was going to say this. It's probably a discouraging factor, isn't it?
yeah.
If it's disclosed in the agreement that you can, let's say the scientist that is making the testing and so on, if he discloses that he can publish it no matter what in the contract, he can do whatever he wants with it.
Oh, I mean, come on. Supplement companies, there aren't many. Like, even if I gave someone like a tub of Jacked and they said to me, hey man, bet you $100,000 that this works like a charm, like blows my socks off. I don't know if I'd take that bet. There are too many things. Like, I'm mildly confident. I'm not 100% confident that they're going to have the same experience as me. And so if I was a supplement company, I mean, and it's not like you could just say, nah, they're wrong. I mean, this is a study here. So like in the off chance, like it's the opposite. Like we buy a supplement for that 5% improvement, right? I mean, there's arguably a 5% chance that the study is shit, even if it's a good supplement. So I can understand how they might be a bit hesitant.
There are studies, like there's a couple of studies on caffeine that show it doesn't improve performance, or citrulline. There's still studies showing that citrulline doesn't improve performance in XYZ training protocol. Does that mean we're still not, are we still abandoning caffeine and creatine and citrulline? No, it's just that, yes, it's expensive to run these things, but if you're really confident in this ingredient, nut up and step up to the plate and, fund some more studies.
The 20, 30 years the industry has been at 40, 50 years, I don't know. Have you ever found a study that was funded by a brand that said that their product was shit?
I'm trying to think if there was a Muscle Farm one where it found out, like they did. Muscle Farm used to do a bunch of pre-workout studies, and I want to say one of their maybe found it didn't have.
You know what? I remember that
benefit.
One time Robert had Lane Norton in his show, and Lane was talking about the study that he was doing with Lematize, I believe, or someone else.
Protein, probably, yeah.
Yeah, because he was doing his thesis on the leucine and so on, and he was financed by a supplement company and by also a meat producer or something like that. And and I remember that he disclosed in his contract that even if the study will be bad for the company or it will show a negative results for the brand, he can still publish them.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, but here's the other like feather in that hat, right? I mean, just playing devil advocate, just playing a bit of a dick. You could say, you know what, I'll put this in the contract. You can publish it no matter what. But just so you know, if this turns out good, we got like 5 other studies we could do with you for $500,000 each. Just, we'll just see how this one goes. Guaranteed, like if you just said that, right? Like if you just said that, or if that was disclosed, people would be like, well.
Yeah, man, but
I mean, there are many ways around. This is like I'm saying, this is the industry, though.
It comes down to integrity, like individual integrity too. I mean, that plays a role in it. What is your intelligence? Jacob Wilson. Jacob Wilson.
I didn't want to drop the name, but you did it for me.
I did it. The HMB free acid study, and there's when you start comparing HMB to anabolic steroids, it's going to turn a lot of eyes on you, and that's why you're not working at the University of South Florida anymore.
At the end, he got fired.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's a hard. There's always, while as much as I'm like, I feel I get disappointed when fans like I said, oh, you must be getting paid for this some way, shape, or form. Like I get disappointed when I hear that, but then, like I said, there's always ways around it. There's always you'd be like, oh, I'll pay you for, I don't know, you can't pay me for a top product, but you know what? Throw me a party for $1 million, and then maybe I'll say something nice. It's kind of like there's like it's just a dodgy way to work, I guess. It's
agreed.
I guess this industry kind of sometimes makes it a little bit
that's
obvious. That's a little bit tough.
That's the thing. How many times you were accused by taking money just to like publish something? Or
I never really care. Like I'm just like, but my wife gets so furious. She's like, "Do you want me to send you a picture of our shitty ass car? You want me to send you a picture of my shitty ass house?" It's like,
Yeah.
She's always like, if you think we're taking any money, you think I have a better fucking car than this?
Yeah, that's what we are trying to say, you know.
And I was like, you know what?
Morals.
I appreciate your pride, but you know, it's a knock on my car. Thank you, but
Look.
Oh,
you know, I guess, like I said, sometimes you just can't. It's not their fault. They're just like again the dog thing. Maybe they just ran into 9 bad dogs or just poorly trained dogs. It's not their fault.
Yeah.
It's bad luck.
Yeah. There's one other question I got from Robbie last week, but I feel like we should save it for when he's here. The question is, what is
Oh,
one
you can't,
thing?
You
Well,
can't fucking say that.
I can.
Good.
I can. It says, what is one thing that not many people know about you, but you are willing to share?
Ooh,
I feel like I feel like this is something like Robbie and TJ both need to be on the podcast for, because that could be a good one. That could be a juicy one.
Is
well,
TJ
I mean,
gonna join now?
if we're waiting for TJ, he might be 55 on the next episode.
Oh, fuck you, man.
Do you have any other ones, Shane, that you want to source, or do you want to go over any topics that came across the newswire before we drop our big announcement about next week's doubleheader podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm not prepared. I just look. It's
Surprise,
7:30 in the morning. I'm not ready. You didn't tell me. You said I had the questions. Look, I can do one of two things, right?
Well, do you have
Okay.
do you have more questions, or do you want to go to the news stories? What do you find more engaging?
I think I lost them again. One of them was we kind of.
How do you lose a question?
I explained it earlier. Look, the bigger mystery is why was Lukasz walking through a porn store at fucking middle of the day? Okay.
Here we go again.
Don't blast me on the questions.
I like that.
One of them was we had already done worst experience with a supplement.
Worst experience with a supplement?
Yeah, we've done this one before.
Oh, that's easy. That's Edge of Insanity by Psychopharma. The old. I mean, this is like the 2017 version.
I'm trying to remember that one.
I still have the tub here. I'm gonna go get it. I will go get the tub. Don't burn the house down while I'm away, kids.
Now we can talk shit.
Now we talk shit. Robert looks like he needs to hit the gym more.
Oh yeah, man.
He's maybe doing like 3 sessions a week.
I told him he needs to like ditch the cow food and start going with the tiger food.
The cow food. Oh, the salad.
Plant-based.
He always sends pictures of that shit with like, I'm just like, I can't. But the thing I don't understand is he says he has it for like a big bowl of salad for dinner. He does. I remember asking him. He does eat other shit, right?
What's the point?
Oh yeah, we can
I
stop
really
now.
don't get it.
Don't worry, Dad's back. We should stop.
What did I miss? This.
Oh yeah.
This one.
Giant ugly prop blend. And so the guy, when we sent this, he sent us the label, and I saw what was actually in the stem blend. So this may have been one of the first products to actually use isopropyl norepinephrine, because this was back in 2017. I think I tried this. Let me see if is there an expiration date on here. 2018 it expired. Yeah. So Razor's Edge Focus Blend, 680 milligram blend of caffeine anhydrous, urea gerensis extract, standardized for N-phenyl dimethylamine. Then it also has DMAE, theophylline, which I actually do like that stimulant a lot, halostation, isopropyl norepinephrine, octopamine, theobromine, N-methyltyramine, Rauwolfia vomitoria extract, standardized to minimum 90% alpha-yohimbine. He sent us like how much was in each of those things. The amount of alpha-yohimbine or whatever else was in this, I felt miserable. Like I took this on multiple occasions, even like a half scoop. I felt like I couldn't stop shaking. I felt like I was going to throw up half the time. Sandy tried
So
like
that was your worst experience. You've kept it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've got expired supplements in the pantry. Like, it's just I've accumulated so much crap, and I just haven't. I've started throwing away some of them, but I was going to send. I think I have 2 tubs of this or something. So if I can send it to one of y'all if y'all want it.
No, I don't want your fucking 3-year-old supplement. What the hell's wrong with you?
It still works. Lucas will try it.
You sound like my mum.
Powder
It's like your VHS player still works.
It does.
No. No,
There might be a
see,
slight degradation in the powder, but it'll still kick ass.
I'm the
Still good.
opposite. If anything is like remotely close to expiring, either throw it out or I give it to my gym. Because see, I always forget this. Sometimes I get like importing when I bring protein powders over, it's like kind of expensive because they're big. But when I just bring over aminos, pre-workouts, people send them to me all the time, and I just store them up. And I forget sometimes, and I'm like, I say to the guy, I'm like, I'm got too many pre-workouts. I'm not going to get around to them. I'll give them to the gym. And
Yeah.
I'll walk up and say, hey man, do you guys want these? And they'll be blown away. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of nice. And then it hits me. I'm like, to be honest, this shit's like $40 a piece. So I am kind of giving them. If I'm giving them like 8, that's a lot of money, I guess.
It is, yeah.
But I kind of forget sometimes. Like when we traveled a lot, that's what I would do. I would get all the products in. Before I would leave, I would take like a whole box of protein, aminos, pre-workout, everything to the gym. And they would just look at me like, I was like, you guys can have it if you want. Sometimes they would be like, can we sell it? I'll be like,
Sure.
if you want. They're not going to be able to get it again.
Yeah.
But I think you kind of forget these things. Like, it's a big amount of money each month if you're just a regular dude, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my worst experience on a supplement. What about y'all two?
Throwing it out if I were you. Why are you keeping that?
I don't know. I'm a pack rat with certain things.
Frame it.
It sounds like a hoarder. One of those. Just
No,
can't
I
throw
don't
shit
keep much
away.
stuff. It's like supplements is probably the only thing that I actually. That and bourbon, those two.
Yeah,
things.
but you can say that about anything. I don't keep many things, just dead bodies. So I mean,
That's the secret. Don't tell that one. That's the thing I was going to share next week. Like the one thing not many people know about you. I hoard dead bodies in my backyard.
I have an answer for that. I have an answer for that question. I think I have a good one.
For the one we're going to say for when Robbie's with us.
Yeah,
You say it?
I have.
Yeah.
Huh?
Huh? You're talking about the thing
What'd
you'd
you-
share that not many people know about you?
Yeah.
You've been
Some people
faking
know
the New
about me.
Zealand accent the whole time.
You know what? I was so proud the other day. I was in my driveway and my neighbor came over and she was like, do you know what deadly nightshade is? Okay. It's apparently
Poisonous
like a
flower?
plant. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
on
like
some plants, right?
it grows like near weeds and shit.
Mhm.
And we
Yeah.
had it all around our front yard and it was growing up and she's like, you guys have this? And I was like, I don't know what it is, but it sounds pretty bad. She said, yeah, it can poisonous berries. And she pulled it out and she's like, where are you from? And I was like, I don't know, what do you mean? New Zealand? And she's like, you sound like you have an American accent. And I was like, thank you. I appreciate
Made
it. I have that, and my wife looks at me, she's like, shut the fuck up. You don't sound anything like them. Because because I pretty much converse with Americans all week, really.
Yeah.
Watch the shows, talk to them, work with them. So it's, I guess maybe it's rubbed off, but I don't really. But that was like, it's like kind of proof. It's like someone saying to you, nice gains, right? Yeah. So it was just it's confirmation. It was nice. But yes, no, I do have the answer for that question.
Okay. Well,
Some people. It should be fun.
We will say that. Shane, this is you remember Pumped Sports? They were a New Zealand company. Are they still
Yeah, New
around?
Zealand brand.
Are they still around?
I think so.
Okay. I don't know. I met Ben, the founder of the company, a couple of years ago at the Olympia, and I haven't heard much about the brand since.
I mean, it's a hard thing to, like. I mean, I don't want to be like stink, but like in the US, you can build a brand, get good quality supplements, go online, sell them, market. It's a little bit more difficult in these international smaller countries.
Yeah.
Like, I don't imagine it being overly easy to start a supplement company in Poland. And like, we're kind of smaller than that. So it's like, we don't have we probably have manufacturers in New Zealand, but I don't imagine there's that many. And if they do, they don't have many ingredients. I don't know. I've never really explored it, but it's hard to make it big.
Who knows? Maybe we can start a company.
We'll see how Roberts goes. He's doing it for it. He's testing the market.
Yeah.
If he blows up and he gets a better car than me, we'd be like, well, fuck. If it's that easy, then what am I doing?
There we go.
The car is a reflection. It's like
No, man,
back when
I could make millions and millions of dollars. Cars have never been something that,
oh
like,
my fucking god, you're such a liar.
I'm
You're selling
serious.
my wife.
No, I'm serious. Like, if we drive a Toyota Camry, if I make $1 million or I make $5 million, $10 million, I'm still going to be driving some, because I'm not going to spend the money on something like a Maserati or a McLaren or something like
I
that.
have a Toyota Corolla, so yeah, what's up?
Yeah, exactly.
We're in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, like my first car was a Honda Civic that I got as a
Holy
graduation
shit, mine
present.
was too.
There you go. It was an 03 Honda Civic. That was my first car.
Oh, okay, no. Mine was like an 87.
My mom has Honda Civic right now, so yeah.
Yeah, it's like I've never, like, the highest I would go, it would be maybe like an Acura or something. I'm not going to go on like some giant, like, super expensive car. I don't see the purpose in spending that kind of money on it.
My wife says this to me. She's like, even when I get that rich, I don't think I'm going to spend that much on a car. And I was like, listen to this, right? When we bought this car, let's just say it was 5,000 US and we were making 50,000. Let's say, I mean, maybe we'll class it to 75. Let's just say, just for relevance purposes, right? It's like, I don't know, a 15th of your income, right?
Yeah.
So if you were to make $5 million and you were to, I don't know, how far do we go down to make a 15th of that? We're talking like, shit. I mean, 150,000 per million. That's close to that's $750,000. So the same percentage that you would have spent making that much money on a $5,000 car.
Yeah.
If you make $5 million, you should be relatively spending $750,000. That's how much we're talking here.
Yeah,
right?
I don't see the value in spending.
So my point is
a car,
that if you were to spend $50,000 on a car, which is 10 more than the $5,000 car, that would seem like crumbs to you if you made $5 million. You don't understand that right now because you don't have $5 million.
Yeah,
no,
maybe you do. But
no,
I'm saying is that
when
you because the thing is if you made $5 million a year, what's that per week? That's your fucking car, right? If you could be like, I'll just save up. Oh, cool, save the money. Let's go buy a car. You wouldn't have that mindset. You wouldn't be sitting there being like, I don't want to spend that much money on a fancy car. It's not that fancy anymore because you're making that money like overnight. No,
but like, I'll put it in a different context. Okay, so like we go grocery shopping. The fresh berries, like the fresh blackberries and grapes that are like $4 a pound, we still don't buy those just because we're like that cheap. We're like, that's expensive. We don't really want to buy that. I could easily afford that. It's no, like, we're talking here like one iota of income. And just,
you're buying that every week.
It's the same thing. I'm not going to gravitate towards something that's overly expensive just for that. I don't know.
But it won't be overly expensive. Again, let's just say you make $10 million. 50,000 is going to seem like a drop in the bucket.
Just imagine, like, you're earning way more right now. Let's say right now you're earning, I don't know,
man.
Well, why would I want to go and spend it? I would just save it more, or like spend it on a vacation.
You wouldn't have anything to buy.
Exactly. I would just keep the money. You already said I'm a hoarder. I'm just going to hoard the money.
No, guaranteed. I firmly believe, and I would, even though I'm not a car person. I'm not. But I'm a relevance person. Like when I bought my TV, I spent maybe $2,500 on the TV. So in my mind, I needed to spend at most $1,000 on a sound system to go spend $2,500 on my fucking sound system to match my $2,500 TV. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right? It's all relevant. So if I was earning $5 million and my car still cost $5,000, I'd be a fucking idiot. Okay?
I'm not gonna drive an old piece of shit, but I'm not going to buy like a top tier car either. I'm just going to buy something that gets me from point A to point B.
Yes, but it would be significantly better though, wouldn't it?
I wouldn't say.
In what metric are you using to say it's better? Just because it can go like 0 to 60 faster? That doesn't.
It's price. It's price. But then, like I said, then like you earn $5 million 1 year. 5 years go by, you got $25 million that you've earned. I mean, realistically, You're gonna tell me that you haven't spent a good drop of money on a car? It's just one of
You'll
those
buy
things that
Tesla.
you do.
I'm
You would
not going to
buy
go and
Tesla.
buy $100,000 car, is what I'm saying. And I
You
would
would.
still buy
You
something in like the 30 to
guaranteed you would.
45 range. No.
You would.
That does that. No. And like, I wouldn't buy, like, if I struck rich, I'm not going to go and buy just some like mega mansion of a house either. That's just,
No, but see, you can still
I've
buy a
got,
nice house that's not like super large, but you would still buy a new house. See, I'm at the
no, I
point
would keep
now.
this house here. And what I would do is go get a second house in the mountains and get the fuck away from society and live on a creek bed or something and just live out there and
Yeah,
write my memoirs.
I can agree with that. See,
Okay.
but
There we go.
again, like right now, I didn't buy a new house. I bought a shitty old one because
Yeah.
I'm not at that stage where I can buy a new house. But if I had $5 million a year, you bet your ass I would have been building a house. Well,
Well,
build
no,
a house and
we've never
fucking
built new. I mean, we always bought a used house. So like this house was.
yeah, but that's what. Yeah, see, it's
What-
stages, man. It's stages.
What year was this house built? 2000 something. I don't remember. 2006 maybe?
Well, guess what? Mine's 1990.
There you go. There you go.
I reckon Lucas's might be similar. I don't know. It might be older.
Don't get me started.
When you get into those European countries, don't challenge them on dates.
Well, no, they were built back in like the 1850s probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I firmly believe that as you increase your money, again, it's percentages. If I spent the money I earn today on something,
Yeah.
but then I don't know, let's say I was rich and the money I earned today could actually buy me a car, damn, I'd be buying a fucking car, guaranteed. I'd be buying a fancy one.
See, yeah, I don't think I would do a fancy one. I think I would
You're not there yet.
I would spend the money on something, but not a car. It might be on something else, but it wouldn't be a car.
Yeah, you'd spend it on something, then you'd spend it on something else, and you'd be like, fuck, my accountant told me I've got to blow some tax deductible money. What am I going to do? Buy a fancy car.
I'll buy Shane the fancy car. When I start making $5 million, I'll buy you the fancy car.
Fuck, man.
Oh, guess I'm never getting a fancy car then.
There we
Thanks.
go. Well, I don't want the fancy car for me. I want it for you, Shane. So I will work hard to get that $5 million so I can buy you the fancy car.
Well, you work hard. You give me a fancy car. And,
There we go.
And I'll
And a
just leave it.
truckload of pre-workouts.
Yes.
Done.
Just fill the boot, fill the trunk with pre-workout. There you go.
Pre-workout.
Wait, with that clause though, with me buying you the car, I get final say on all stories that get published on Stack.com.
You want that? You gonna give me a car for that? Ain't shit.
I get right of first refusal.
If you give me a house and a car, no, you're gonna need more than that. You need something. Just buy it off me. Buy Stack. You can
Buy
fucking
Stack
do
for you.
anything.
Okay,
Thanks,
so how much do I need?
What do you say?
What'd you say, Lucas? We're gonna buy Shane a Polish car. That's what we'll do.
I said sex shop in Poland.
You don't need to be rich to buy one of those. Apparently, they're fucking dime a dozen.
Yeah, man, they are super.
I can tell you, I don't want to be mean, but like, there aren't many neighborhoods where you can be walking around and you just pass a sex shop. That's not exactly a common thing.
Just in my city, there are 3. So
I mean,
He's in the
no,
seedy part of Poland.
no. But see, my point isn't necessarily that there are many, because like we have them here. But like, if you're walking down a main street,
yeah,
they're in the back alley. They're not on a main
The
street.
red light district.
bro,
They're
here
in the corner.
Here they are not hidden at all. And in Germany, oh man, they're basically like in the main streets.
I still remember we went to Amsterdam,
Weird.
and I was just fascinated by, like, yes, there were naked ladies in the window, but I was mostly fascinated by the not the quality, but the types of women. Like it like, so just let me explain it. So like,
All
if you were
shapes and
out during,
sizes.
if you were out during the day, there was a certain type of woman, because they paid per like, I think it was shift. You pay per shift to rent the window in the room. And if you were out during the day, it was a different type of woman in the window.
Yeah.
And then at night, it was another different type of woman.
The A team's out at night.
And then as you like, because there was a center kind of thing, and the closer you got to the center,
Back to the 80s.
the more different women there were again, and I was just fascinated by like, I mean, I wasn't going to ask, but I'm like, I feel like the windows in the middle between 6 and midnight were like $1,000, and then
Yeah.
as you got further out, we were talking half price, half price, half price, and during the day, like
The
to rent
5 cent
the
ones.
window, it just seemed like, and you got the vibe like in the middle, it's all red lights and stuff, and as you got further out, it was just kind of like an airy alley with like no lights, and it just
Yeah.
seemed, and I was just mostly fascinated by, yes, it was dodgy, there were naked women all around, but I was just kind of surprised at how obvious it was that like premium, this is the time to go,
Yeah.
and it was always different
It
culture.
sounds like Bourbon Street. Like there's only one area where it's Bourbon Street in New Orleans, but man, that's like a small little street. It doesn't seem like it's
Honestly, I can't relate to that because
oh, the Polish internet
'Cause
went down.
he has no internet.
He was hacked by the Russians. Try again, Lucas. You froze.
Oh, there it is.
I froze or something. So we don't have the red light district or anything like this, you know. If
I
I'm
don't think
if I'm
anyone has.
if I'm referring to a sex shop, I mean only mean like accessories.
Oh no
you know.
no. Yeah, I know
But
the
as far as
difference.
like but as Shane said, you know, the window shoppers or something like this, you know, there's basically only Netherlands in Poland. We don't have it.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of places. That's a unique feature, I tell you that. That's where you kind of go though for the weed, which I didn't do, and then see the naked women all around the counters.
Yeah, but you can't do like you can't photograph or film, otherwise you get smashed.
You get harassed.
I thought it more entertaining that like because it's like a big maze of like streets and towns and stuff, and when someone goes in, like everyone's just kind of you kind of know, like everyone will start cheering, and then when you come out, it's just like one of those things like we're here to watch it, but you're here for that. Wasn't it your friend Lukasz who said that the most popular request from prostitutes or hookers was cuddling?
Yeah, I think so. One of.
Yeah, it was like I remember.
Yeah, seriously.
Who was your friend? We were at FIBO and I asked him, and he said, "Yeah, but most of the time they just cuddle." And we're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He was like, "It's true that they just." He said they're quite like lonely. They kind of attracts lonely people.
Yeah.
And they,
Most
Robert's like me.
In most cases they don't want to like go naked and go all out. They basically want to cuddle.
Yeah, that was my reaction. Your friend told us that at FIBO, I remember, and we just kind of stopped. And you were like, "Yeah, that makes sense." And we were sitting there like, "Wait, what?"
Oh, fuck yeah. Well, that reminds me. Like, so there's this TV show called Billions. I don't know if y'all have heard of it or seen of it. And it's like these guys that are hedge fund managers, and they have like an on-staff psychologist that kind of gets them in the right headspace where they need to do. Well, at one point in the show, they bring in this woman, and she's a professional like cuddler. Like Lucas just thought, and that's immediately what my mind jumped to. It's like these people are having like psych breakdowns while they're trying to make all these like multi-million-dollar trades, and then they just want to go in there and like have some lady just like hug them while they're like they want to go in there cocoon.
Some people like they treat prostitutes like psychiatrists. they basically go talk to them, cuddle.
I mean,
all right, Shane. When I get my $5 million, a new car and a cuddler for you, a professional cuddler.
You know what? I'll take the cuddler. Nah,
that's a good one.
To us, it's weird, but I mean, like, well, to Lucas, it doesn't sound weird, but to us, but like, I mean, it's kind of. I mean, it's one of the weirder things I've heard, though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there are other people. You could probably pay a homeless person a lot less.
Yeah, there's also
like you could find someone who's unemployed. Just put an ad out. Yeah,
creating jobs. There you go.
You want to cuddle, but I pay a premium hooker.
What is this? This is random, but how different would a pump feel on citrulline versus Cialis? And he's Creamy is clarifying with muscle pump, not any other kind of pump.
I suppose we needed to talk about that because, it's ironic it's coming from Cream on her. But
Yeah. Oh, he's back, or she's back.
I see.
Creamy is back.
I remember I talked about this, and I had a beta sample of a supplement that, like, I had asked the people. I thought it was a little bit funky, but that was still the best pump I had had. I don't know what was in it. I don't know if it's Cialis. I don't really know what it was, but that pump was fucking insane. It was just like first exercise, like you can feel the density just flowing, and as soon as that happened, I was like, okay, maybe second exercise. I mean, I can get that, not first, and I'm not even talking first, like last set of the first exercise. I'm talking first fucking set. I was like, holy shit, it was dynamite. And so, I mean, if Cialis is any good as that, whew, I mean, we're talking completely different areas of the world right here. I like citrulline, but I mean, if I wanted a pump, I would definitely have. I know the medical world is a wonderful place.
Yeah, I would say pharmaceuticals are typically like orders of magnitude stronger than regular dietary supplements are. Although there is some research showing that L-citrulline is an effective means for combating erectile dysfunction, which Cialis and other PDE5 inhibitors are typically used for as well. I've never personally used that. I'm curious to see how. I would imagine it would probably be something on the order of potency like a nitrate instead of just like a pure citrulline. Or if you stack like 6 grams of citrulline with like 508 milligrams of vasodrive AP, maybe that's going to start to approach what you could get while using something like a Cialis or a Viagra. I having never messed with that compound, I would wonder what would happen in other regions of the body that you're not training if there would be blood flow shunted somewhere else.
That's what I thought about this, but yeah, like I said, I don't know what was in the product I had, but I remember when I was describing it to someone, they had a name for what they thought it might be. But that was like when you have a pump pre-workout, you'd be like, okay, the fullness is a little good, the density, like the hardness is there. On that, I didn't stop and measure. It was just like, it just felt like a natural pump, but my arm was like an inch fucking bigger. It was insane. It was just like, when Arnold describes the pump in Pumping Iron,
Yeah.
I actually related to him. That was the only time.
Never mind. I was gonna make a joke. I'm just gonna
say this with accent.
Oh my god. Okay. Yes, I think Creamy. I think the pump would feel significantly stronger, more robust, girthier, more powerful than a citrulline pump. Juicy.
Moist.
Raging. It'd be a raging muscle pump.
Uncontrollable.
I'm a fan of the word moist.
I still don't understand why people say that they don't like that word moist. I had never heard of this until my wife told me.
It was a girl at high school that was in our circle of friends. She couldn't stand that word. And so anytime when somebody would just say it to mess with her.
I just, and she's like, oh, there's heaps of words. And I was like, the fuck? That's kind of like my wife's sister. She doesn't like being around balloons when they're popped. I'm like,
that's
what
a fun
fuck?
sound.
No, like if you go to pop one, she runs away.
Yeah.
I'm
Weird.
like, dude, it's what's going to happen. Yeah. It's not like it's a bomb. It's air. I mean, yeah. I mean, some things you can't question.
Is NutriCap a legit supplement manufacturer? Because I hear mixed things about them. Well, you kind of answered your question there.
This is the one side I'm not familiar with. Like I know company ingredients, I know brands. I'm very unfamiliar with.
NutriCap used to be Duracap Labs, and then High Tech bought them out.
Yeah.
Were they the ones that did John's Meadows Intra MD?
When he was with Prime,
Yeah.
That's
yes.
literally the only time I remember hearing about a manufacturer was when he
Yeah.
put that thing out about
Yep.
someone not putting in
Yeah, they massively underdosed it. So
what
yeah,
ingredient was it?
Yeah.
tea cream.
Yeah, can't remember what it was.
Yeah, it was
He
tea
kind of
cream.
just
There's an article
he,
on Generation Iron about it.
he went all out.
I remember all this.
Yeah, I haven't. When we were vetting manufacturers, and when Robbie and I are vetting manufacturers, NutriCap is not one of the ones we've discussed or we've reached out to.
See, and you wonder why Disney doesn't come in with open arms.
So they may have course corrected the ship now, but based on previous track records, just like I won't trust protein powders from Muscle Farm or Muscle Tech anymore because of previous amino spiking issues. Burn me like that. I'm not going to try you. I'm not going to.
I got. When we meet up, I got some stories from some protein spiking.
There we go.
I have, because at that time I got a lot of stories.
I love the stories.
To the extent where I won't even share them on WhatsApp. Just
ooh, man, these are juicy then.
Bro, I remember when once when we met with Shane at the Krakow, I was going to by train to meet with him and Nikki and Ava when she was super young back in the days.
so size of a fucking stone.
Yeah, and we sat and I remember we sat in one restaurant, and Shane started talking. I was just laughing my ass off.
It's mostly I just need to remember them by year because I don't really remember them off the top. I just go by year. I was like, oh, what happened this year? Amino spiking. Yeah.
Boom.
But the thing is like most of the stories will change your opinion on some people.
Yeah. What are some companies that can be trusted? That's a loaded question.
Is you talking about manufacturers still?
Yeah,
I suppose you can't. I suppose you don't really know, do you? Because you can't really.
Yeah, you're not really supposed to. Most places have you sign an NDA. I mean, if I had the okay for my manufacturer or the ones that we're using with Apollon, I would, but I don't have that okay, so I'm not going to say that. As far as supplement companies that can be trusted, do we want to? No, yeah, he's saying that.
I like what I said the other day, the other week when I said that it's like the smaller companies have a lot to prove, so they they try and put a lot of effort into their stuff. But I always kind of go by the theory of like when it's pre-workouts though, I'm not really gonna mind too much on like trusting because like let's just say the pre-workout says that it's meant to have DMHA back in the day.
Yeah.
And they're gonna probably put something similar in there. And I don't want to be stink, but like I'm buying a pre-workout to get me going. When it comes to aminos, when it comes to protein powders, the kind of commodity stuff, the stuff that you spend most of your money on, I prefer to go with that theory of to go with a company who has the most to lose. Just because, like a company starting up, like it's hard. Like and the bigger companies will be the ones who make it cost effective, and it's just a bigger company. If it does something wrong, it's gonna get its ass handed to it. And if it does something wrong in one supplement, it's usually a whole batch. So that's just a shitload of money that they can lose. So I've always gone off the theory, trust the big one. And I mean, some big companies have had problems, but not anywhere near as much as the smaller ones or mid-sized ones. So I like that mid to large range. I usually can trust. I know Optimum Nutrition isn't everyone's favorite, but that's if I ever go from country to country or I go to a supplement store, that's usually the one I do.
Yeah.
Or the European Optimum of Cytic. Cytic is another favorite of mine.
Yeah.
One thing I would hasten caution about with some of these big ones, especially like the vitamin producers, there's a class action lawsuit being filed right now against several companies for fake elderberry supplements. Like there was a study done, and these companies were found to not have actual elderberry in there. The Vitamin Shops one, Jus Nutrition, Horback, Nature's Truth, Nature's Way, Now Foods, Sambucol.
Sambucol, son of a bitch. I love that one.
Yeah, well, that's the patented one.
Now Foods.
Yeah, so just you got to be really careful. So there was a let me see if I can find the fake elderberry claims.
Man, Sambucol was my go-to.
God damn.
I actually really like that one. Ever since I've been like for the last 4 or 5 years, maybe it's because they got popular. I don't know.
Jarrow is also there or not?
Well, that class action suit was about false claims on it. There was a study I saw not too long ago that it was the elderberry supplements themselves didn't actually contain some other kind of dark berry extract. It wasn't actual elderberry.
So that's not Sambucol.
No, Sambucol. I mean, it contains elderberry. Just they had claims on there that they shouldn't have.
I don't care about the claims. I don't care. That's good. I was going to say I love that one. That was my annual flu recovery product.
That's your go-to?
Yeah. I don't know why it works. I just love how the pills are purple. Like the stuff inside the pill is purple. and then the bottle is purple. And I remember buying it for the first time, and the lady was like,
that's why.
Yeah, and I was like, I'll give anything a go, because when I get sick, I'm like, no, I need to train, I need to work, so I take everything I can get my hands on. And the first time I had that, my flu kind of just disappeared in the first few days. Ever since then, whenever I get flu symptoms, I throw it down. Gone. Sometimes it's unavoidable, but yeah.
Yeah.
I had a feeling it wasn't Sambucol. It's the lifesavers. Right now, it's the Serious Nutrition, their immune support.
Mm-hmm.
That thing's loaded. That's my savior.
Robic sent me the Resistance, so I'll be trying. I'll be using this one.
Yeah, I've been giving that to Sandy every day for the past couple of months.
Right now,
came out.
Right now, I'm using the Genius Immunity.
Oh yeah.
This one is also good.
Yeah, because when SNS came out, they were like what, late 2019.
Yeah.
So they were like kind of one of the first to do a complex, advanced immune support supplement.
Yeah.
Now I'm spoiled for choice, but back then, that was the dynamite.
Yeah. That's the best part of the industry. You get spoiled now. Back in the days, there was like maybe 10, 20 brands, and that's basically it. So it was like black and white, and now you got...
Makes my job harder. I'll say that.
Rainbows.
When I first started Stacked, I probably wrote, one story a week?
Yeah.
I would write it on Monday and then just...
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to ask you about the stories. Are you making more stories per week nowadays?
Oh, fuck yes.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Because I've noticed that you are like posting more and more content, every week, and I was like,
I used to be able to do 5 to 7 a day, and I would be pretty hard pressed for that. What am I on now? Oh, Lucas is frozen.
Oh well. It says Nature's Way actually did the testing on adulterated elderberry products, so they identified 25 bulk extracts and 8 finished products that did not meet claims. I'm trying to find. So Nature's Way actually did the testing on these other products. I'm trying to see. They don't actually give a list of it, though.
A competitor did the testing.
Yeah.
As to what we said earlier, it's a little bit fishy to me.
Yeah, could be.
Could be.
Might be. Could be. Maybe.
Yeah.
This episode has run the gamut of all emotions. You're welcome, Brooke. And I guess let's we probably should make the announcement for we actually never named any supplement companies that can be trusted. We kind of deviated on that.
I said the big ones. I said Optimum.
Yeah, but do you trust little ones too? I mean, like, do you trust? I mean, like mid-tier companies. We're gonna say like NutraBio, Apollon, Ghost. Are you gonna trust
Yeah,
those
so
kind of
like-
companies too?
I don't
It's-
trust
it's-
Apollon.
Again, if it's yeah, man.
No, we don't trust Apollon, man. They're
He
shady,
spikes
especially
it with
since
them.
Robbie's not here, man. Think about it. We're discussing what companies can be trusted, and Robbie's not here.
Yeah. He spikes it with that Russian cocaine. That's what it is. But no, see, I like mid to large, and I had this conversation with Dan from Ghost. I was like, "You're a large company. Like, I consider you one of the," and he was like, "No, I'm not." And I was like, "Well, you're not Optimum size, but you have to understand that it's relative nowadays. Like
Yeah.
a big company back then was big because of what its competition was."
Right.
Right, so the average company is way below Ghost. The average company back then was probably a little higher because there's so many
Yeah.
brands out there.
Yeah.
Mid-size is like Apollon, which means that Ghost has to be in that large range, even though it's still a while away from like Optimum. It's still large in
Yeah.
the grand scheme of things. But I say mid to large. Those are the guys I rely on: aminos, test boosters, muscle builders, performance supplements.
Good picks.
Protein powders, yeah. Apollon, I would put there.
Yeah.
Morphogen, I would
Collagen.
put there.
Yep. Morphogen, Glaxon, those are all good. Performax is good. NutraBio is good. Ghost is good. I
Those
mean,
are-
there's so
yeah.
many. There's so many good
Inspired.
companies. And like, if we leave off one, it doesn't mean we don't think they're good. There's just that many. Inspired's another great one you mentioned.
I would just
Primeval is
gauge
a
it
solid
on-
company that does things by the book.
Yeah, Primeval. I would just
Primeval,
gauge on
yeah.
size. Those are the guys that, like I said, they're the ones who, I don't want to be mean, but like, they have families. They don't want to lose anything. They don't
Yeah.
want to risk it. They've already made it to some extent, and they're gonna be doing everything they can to avoid being like getting shit.
Yeah.
Like that. It's an odd way to trust them, but I would trust them because of that size. Smaller companies, like, again, if I saw a newcomer who was selling a protein powder for $25 for 2 pounds, I'd be questioning it a bit.
Yeah.
But
Be
if
careful of
it's
the
a newcomer-
bathtub brands that launch those super sketchy pre-workouts. I mean, those are the ones that.
Yeah, but see, at the same time, if you're a bathtub brand and you're launching a pre-workout, it's a good chance that thing's gonna kick.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, like, you can trust the pre-workout from them, but do you want to trust the protein powder from them?
No, that's what I'm saying. So I would
Probably
trust pretty much everything. Well, not that I don't trust the smaller ones, but I would trust the mid to bigger ones more for the essentials, the aminos, protein, test boost, like that kind of stuff. If we're
Yeah.
talking just pre-workouts and stims, like shit to get you high, then
Yeah.
I think everyone is probably going to perform just as well.
Yeah.
And pre-workouts generally where they go anyway.
Right.
The newcomers tend to hit that.
Yeah. Core, Anova Farm, you can add those to the list too. Those are solid ones to add there.
I could go through the list of brands. I mean,
Yeah.
we write about 2,500.
Yeah.
It's just-
Massive Iron. I mean, there's so many. There's so many.
I heard those were like a newcomer. They were kind of like, they're not bathtub.
I mean, I can show you the blender I'm using to mix up the supplements back here.
Yeah, see? And then when you get to that 5 million, you're going to change from a blender to a bigger one. I get
There
it,
we
see?
Every day Sandy is swimming in the bathtub with the
Exactly.
powder.
She's like the old Italian grandma. She's stomping the ingredients with her feet and everything.
You handmade supplements.
Handcrafted, aged in fine oak barrels.
And it's still like all like barely crumbly. It's just
Yep.
it's a rocky powder
Exactly.
with a loose toenail in there.
That's how you know it's
Oh, we're
working.
good.
If you get some toenail clippings in there,
Yeah.
premium.
That
I've got
means you
an
know
extra.
it was,
I've got an extra toy.
it was made by hand.
It was. You get some toddler snot in there too. I mean, it's all
Yeah.
good things.
Yeah. Improve your immune system. There you
You
go.
can put on the top extras, inclusions.
Yeah, special inclusions just for you, those extra gains. Shane wants that 1%. We're gonna give him 1.5%.
Yeah.
All right, gents. Let's put a bow on this thing with the announcement of, for the listeners still tuning in, for the people that are tuning in, catching this on replay. Next Saturday, April 17th, there will be a doubleheader broadcast of the Final Scoop. We're going to have our normal episode at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, discussing all manner of supplements, fitness, training, nutrition, whatever you guys throw at us. We'll be here to do that. There's going to be an after hours episode beginning at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, whatever the hell time that is in Poland and New Zealand. I don't know.
Lunchtime.
But that second episode, there will be no supplement talk. It will be how many calories can the 4 or 5 of us cram in our faces. It's going to be the Final Scoop calorie challenge. And Shane said he's going to eat 6 pounds of vegetables for that calorie challenge.
Shit. We will talk supplements because I am going to have a GDA before it because I want to make sure I absorb every single part of it.
We're basically just going to go ham and however many calories. Now, see, the challenge is Robbie and I are doing this at night after we've had the entire day to eat. So I don't know what I'm going to do to get myself through the day, but
that's better. That you can starve through the day.
I'm going to have the challenge at 5 in the morning.
That's ridiculous. That's like saying, oh, you know what? I want to eat 10 Big Macs. You would rather eat it in the morning than at night? No. You would rather eat it at night. The hell's wrong with you?
A lot.
I'm taking the bullet.
So yeah,
Lucas is the one who's getting the short end of the stick.
Yeah, it'll be the 4 of us, and if Grandpa can stay up that late to join us, he's more than welcome to. But we are gonna do see how many calories and whatever kind of dirty, nasty foods we can shove down our gullets and get away with. I'm gonna attempt to eat a large pizza. There's talk of Robbie trying to do 10 Big Macs and fries. I don't know what Shane's gonna do.
I'm gonna try and be in the same realm as Robic, but I actually did a warm up yesterday, and my diet of low carbs has decreased what I believe to be my stomach size.
I told you need to fast, man.
No, yesterday was just a test, so I had meals throughout the day, and then I kind of just threw it down just to see, just to feel it, just to pick up the weight for a few reps, see how it goes.
I'm curious. I have no idea. Like the only eating challenge I've ever really done, I did a dozen donut challenge with my sister and Sandy. We did that last year, like a power hour of donuts, and I crushed a dozen donuts. Pacing myself, I did it in like 40 minutes.
I'm not a fan of donuts.
Oh man, hot and fresh, they go down real easy.
Yeah,
and I did.
The way you say it, Lucas, I'm not a fan of it either. Made it sound weird.
And I did a pizza eating contest when I was in high school. Me and a friend of mine who was probably double my body weight each tackled 18 pieces of pizza. But it's been a long time since I've had that much pizza. Usually I'm like 2 or 3 slices. I'm like tapping out. I'm just saying I'm done. So
I'm doing a 2-hour leg workout before we do it.
You know what?
I'm going to have a piece of pizza. I'm going to go do some squats, come back, have another piece of pizza. Like I'm going to burn it off while I'm eating it.
I'm a bit screwed, because in my city right now we have also a lockdown. So basically all the restaurants are also closed. And the challenge for me will be at 5 a.m. or something.
Lucas is taking one for the team.
Yeah, I'm taking for the team. So basically
Lucas
all the restaurants are closed. So yeah, I'm gonna prep all my meals. Probably gonna order something before.
And just hold it over and warm it up the next day. Yeah, I got to figure out. So I know I'm going to try and do the pizza. We're going to see what else I can throw in there. Maybe I'll get some chicken nuggets for Shane just to give him some homage to McDonald's love.
Like the nuggets are the best.
They are. I agree. Do you like the boots or the ovals more?
Oh, for fuck's sakes. My wife asked me this. I was like, I don't fucking look at my nuggets when I eat them.
The boots always taste better.
The only reason I like the boot is because you can scoop more sauce out. Feels like you can get a good chunk on the tip. But other than that, I mean, I'm not sitting there being like, oh, where are the boots?
I like the way you're thinking.
Always the boots,
have the
man.
Boots.
Always the boots.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't bother me.
All right. Oh, for listeners tuning in, make sure to check that out next Saturday night. That will be a feast for the ages. And thank you all for tuning in. My friends, thank you for joining us. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes.
Massive iron supplements.
That too.
Yes.
And if you want to support the show or support what we're doing here, feel free to order a tub of massive iron supplements or anything from Apollon Nutrition too. We're not, it's anything you're doing to order that helps out Robbie and helps out me indirectly. Not really, but kind of shows support for the brand, so that's good. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys for doing this, Trang. And I think this is a new record for our podcast, 2.5 hours, cut and dry.
Because we spent 30 minutes talking about
God
hookers.
damn, without Hobbit? That's crazy.
I know. So I think this just serves the point. We just don't need Robbie anymore. We'll just, we'll get rid of him. We're just gonna keep cutting away the cast.
And then it's just gonna be Robert and his $500 car. There
we go. I hope Robbie hears this just so he could hear what he shots we threw his way for him missing this podcast.
Hopefully.
All right, gents. Y'all have a good one. We'll be in touch.
Take
care, man.